production of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Last night on Independence Day, the Indians offense had planned a fireworks show, but Trevor Cahill and the Padre bullpen decided that they were going to cancel that show. And they were absolutely outstanding in a 1-0 victory over Corey Kluber and the Cleveland Indians in the first game of this 3-game series. Corey Spangenberg getting ready to go here in Game 2. Interleague play this season, very good numbers. 3 of his 4 home runs this year have come against American League opponents. Jose Ramirez, one of the best players in all of the American League. He hits righties, he hits lefties, but particularly potent against right-handed pitching. And the Padres will send Luis Perdomo, a right-hander, to the mound tonight in the second game of this series at Progressive Field. Welcome back to Progressive Field with Mark Sweeney. I'm Jesse Agler. Glad you're with us on this 5th of July. Not quite as festive, but the 4th last night. Plenty to celebrate for the Padres. And look, it's a cliche, Mark. We say it all the time. Pitching and defense, that's how you win games. And last night, a couple of really big defensive plays to punctuate a great team pitching performance.
You almost assume that because of Corey Kluber on the mound for the Indians. And last night, Trevor Cahill gets in a situation where he needed his defense to come up big. Well, he was part of that defense, making a nice play at first, and Will Myers and Austin Hedges on the back end. Then Jose Torres comes in a big play by Eric Ibar. Defense was very stellar last night in a 1-run ball game, and they needed that effort. Ryan Buchter comes in from the bullpen after a leadoff double and gets Jason Kipnis with runners in scoring position. The Indians have struggled. That's the reason why they have the home record they do, but the Padres were excellent out of the bullpen.
Yeah, 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position last night for Cleveland. They didn't get anybody in scoring position against the Padre closer because Brandon Maurer came out there and was in a save situation again, dominant last night.
Locking down the 9th inning, the toughest job in the game of baseball. Brandon Maurer looks very comfortable. Obviously, he has a 4-pitch mix, and he's using all of those pitches, plus the velocity, good defense behind him, closing out a 1-run ball game. Perfect start to this start of the series.
All right, so it was Maurer power in the 9th inning for the Padres last night as he punched out the final out of the game. That finished things off. The 8th inning was handled by the all-star Brad Hand. He was dominant as well, striking out all 3 Cleveland batters to come to the plate. And when we return, we'll hear from some of his teammates. The Padre bullpen checks in on Brad Hand and what he means to this group. Bob Scanlon has that when we return on Fox Sports San Diego.
are going to watch the Padres All-Star. Brad Hand come into last night's ball game. He faces the middle of the order, Lindor, Brantley, Encarnacion. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. An All-Star-esque appearance as he posted a 0 in the 8th inning, helping the Padres hang on to that 1-0 lead as they beat the Indians in the game opener last night. And as much as he is excited and the fans are excited about Brad Hand going to the All-Star game, his teammates are even more excited. Here's what some of them had to say.
It's well deserved. I think everyone in the clubhouse is extremely excited for him. He's been one of the top arms in the National League for really ever since I've been here, and it's exciting to see someone that really truly deserves it get to go.
Ryan, your thoughts on Brad Hand making the All-Star team?
Who? No, yeah, definitely excited for him. Happy that he got the opportunity to go back to Miami and show his slider and sinker off to the boys that let him go.
You gotta love Ryan Buchter. You gotta know he's playing with Brad Hand on a video game in the clubhouse as we're recording that. So that fake show of indifference absolutely does not show the absolute love that he and his teammates have for Brad Hand. They're so excited for him, and he's been absolutely outstanding, certainly deserving of the All-Star nod, and his teammates are happy to see him get that opportunity. Another silent night. Luis Perdomo going for the Padres. He'll try to shut down the Indians' offense once again. He'll go up against Trevor Bauer. Padres, Indians, game number 2, first pitch, coming up next right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Return from the disabled list, Corey Kluber. He is a true ace. That's a double play. Vandenberg's going to try and score, and he is called out. Vandenberg at first, 2 down. He gets the RBI. And the Padres strike first. Another 1-2-3 inning of relief from the Padre bullpen, and Mauer picks up save 17. Fun one last night. And all right, who are you joining forces with? It's time for Saquon Pick the Stick. Weigh in on Twitter for a chance to win a free foursome of golf, courtesy of Saquon Golf Resort. Just hashtag I'm with and the last name of the broadcaster you want to join forces with this evening. And if one of us wins, you could too. One random winner is selected nightly. Follow us at Fox Sports SD for more details. Let's see, Mark Sweeney, you've got Jose Perella tonight.
Looking forward to that leadoff hitter, and he's starting off the night. Why not?
Another beautiful night here in Cleveland. This city gets a very bad rap with weather, and much of it well-deserved if you're ever here during any other time of the year, I guess. But a couple of gorgeous early summer evenings, July 4th and July 5th. Weather Report is brought to you by your always sunny San Diego Honda dealers. Glad you're with us for the second game of this 3-game series. 3 straight night games here at Progressive Field. And Trevor Bauer starts off the Padre DH tonight. Jose Pirela with a fastball for a called strike, 0-1. Bauer works quickly, and Pirela hammers that one to left field, but pretty much right at Michael Brantley. 2 pitches, 1 out. Here in the top half of inning number 1. Andy Green with a little bit of a smile. Here's his lineup tonight, and it's brought to you by Toyota. Pirela, you just saw the 7th different designated hitter used by the Padres in 7 games in American League ballparks this year. Outside of that, pretty much as you'd expect, Matt Caesar gets the nod in left with Pirela DHing, and a late change to the lineup at the bottom. Luis Torrens was not the original starter behind the plate for the Padres tonight. Austin Hedges was a late scratch with a stiff neck. First pitch here to Margot. Misses. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, aggressive approach tonight from the Padres. You saw that last night against Corey Kluber. You're probably going to see the same tonight against Trevor Bauer.
One of those guys that when teams have put the first pitch of an at-bat in play against him, they've had success, but that's always easier said than done. Bauer, of course, is the guy who cut his finger last year during the postseason. Margot's slow roller, and that'll be a foul ball. As for the full scouting report on the 26-year-old right-hander, what do you got?
Well, Jesse, he has been inconsistent in his career. Traded from the Diamondbacks here to Cleveland, but he has outstanding stuff. Has to have his curveball. That sets up his fastball, which he loves to throw up in the strike zone.
Yeah, he was kind of doing that before it became en vogue. Up in the zone with the fastball and then down with the big 12-6 curve.
Pretty interesting because the Arizona Diamondbacks, that was one of their faults when it came down to scouting him at UCLA. Had a great career at UCLA, but also came to the Diamondbacks and talked about pitching up in the strike zone as he did right there against Margot.
Strikes out Manuel, and quickly 2 down in the top of the first inning. Behind him, the defensive look for the Indians. There's Bradley Zimmer. Second consecutive start in center field. He is flanked by Brantley and Chisenhall. A little bit of a change on the right side of the infield. Their usual second baseman Jason Kipnis scratched like Austin Hedges. He's got a stiff neck, and Carlos Santana has been placed on the paternity list. So Edwin Encarnacion, normally the DH, gets the rare start at first base tonight. So catcher Perez, he works pretty much with Bauer every time out. As Will Myers bends back from a fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. Defense certainly let the Indians down a couple of times last night.
Well, not Bradley Zimmer. The one from La Jolla High School made some highlight reel plays. Continues to do that in center field. Here's Bradley. Well, a nice job since being recalled for his first major league appearance May 16th.
He'll be leading off the bottom of the first inning against Luis Perdomo. Myers takes, and that is strike 2.
You know, a lot of Will Myers pitches last night, especially against Corey Kluber, were the breaking balls away. It's going to be interesting to see how they attack him tonight.
Bauer's ahead of him. Spikes that curve. And the count 2-2.
You know, Jesse, you look at the approach that the Padres are going to have. They're going to be aggressive, as I talked about earlier, but be careful of that curveball. The curveball is very inconsistent. What that tells me, try to eliminate it unless you have 2 strikes. Fastball in. They go on, I'm going to go fastball away.
And they got him. Back-to-back strikeouts for outs 2 and 3 here in the top of the first inning. Bauer sets the Padres down in order. by Petco, where the pets go. And by Car Shield. Don't strike out from a big auto repair bill. When you have Car Shield, they'll get the repair bill paid for you. Go to carshield.com. Half an inning played here at Progressive Field in Cleveland. Padres go down 1-2-3 against Trevor Bauer. And now the Indians starting lineup brought to you by Hyundai for a second consecutive game. It's filled out by bench coach Brad Mills. Terry Francona having some medical tests done yesterday, still unavailable, and now it sounds like it's unlikely that we'll see him tomorrow. And again, we pass along our best wishes to the manager of the Cleveland Indians. Mentioned it, Bradley Zimmer going to lead off. He hit 8th in last night's game. And the three additions to their lineup as compared to yesterday are in the bottom third. That includes the former Padre, Abraham Almonte, just activated off the disabled list. Left-handed hitting Zimmer takes a strike from Luis Perdomo. 15th start of the season for the young right-hander. Wednesday against the Braves, picked up a win. And he has finally gotten going in the win column after kind of being that tough luck guy first 6-7 weeks of the season.
Well, scouting report from Luis Perdomo, follow the leader. Trevor Cahill had a very good start coming off the disabled list with that movement. And take the thinking out of the equation. Luis Torrens have that chemistry. Whatever he puts down, execute those pitches.
Just the second time that Zimmer leads off as you take a look at Torrens, not in the original starting lineup. And now 2-2 to the leadoff hitter.
You know, Jesse, Luis Torrens, you could see him going down to one knee, and why he does that. Justin Hatcher, the catching coach, said he wants to work from the bottom up, especially getting those pitches down in the strike zone. Just a little bit easier for him to do.
We talk about him all the time as a Rule 5 guy, and sometimes we just leave it at that, but the amount of development that he is going through right now is extreme. Both behind the dish, at the plate. I think so often as fans we talk more frequently about hitting adjustments, but at position like that, he's got to be learning a ton back there too.
Priority number one, and it's a fast-paced priority, but he has executed the game plan much better. I think he is growing in the game and has had a successful first half.
2-2 to Zimmer.
Obviously there's growing pains that come into this, and you see Austin Hedges that's down tonight. They have a good chemistry. They've been talking with one another.
Zimmer leading off for just the second time, but doing what you love your leadoff hitter to do, working the count full. Now the 7th pitch of this confrontation comes, and that one is fouled off.
You know, Jesse, and you take a look at the armband on that left wrist for Luis Torrens. That is not only a wristband, but also a scouting report. It's a to-do list when it comes down to it. He has to reference that during the game, how he's going to attack hitters.
On the ground, got to hurry with the fast runner. Ibar does just that. And Zimmer retired, one down as we take a look at the Padre defense, brought to you by Lincoln. Carlos Asuaje, busy man at second base last night, and he has turned 9 double plays in his 10 starts at that position this year. And with Perdomo on the mound, you know those double plays are going to be a big part of it. He gets his ground balls. Changes, Torrens behind the dish, Caesar in left. In back of young 24-year-old Luis Perdomo. Defense was outstanding for the Padres last night. Came up with a couple of big plays. Lindor and the second baseman Kipnis did not come up with a couple of plays, and that really turned out to be the difference in the 1-0 game last night.
It's a different way of hitting.
Well, he's been struggling, perhaps. A little chew on the necklace will get him going. I think he's like 8 for his last 47, something like that. I guess at that point you'll try anything.
It's pretty interesting because in the game you'll see guys that have mouthpieces trying to take the tension out of their swing, which is pretty interesting. But I haven't seen the necklace too many times.
Whatever works for you. And that one's fouled over towards, I think, where Bob Scanlon is sitting. Look out, Bob. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You know what, Jesse, this is a spectacular player. Obviously the all-star last year came onto the scene during the postseason, and it's one of those players that if you see him every single day you really appreciate. Loves the game of baseball, and he's a budding star.
Perdomo from the sun into the shade, and that one just missed at 96 miles per hour. 2-2.
Let's take a look at this. It has had a 2-seam action just off the plate. I think Luis Perdomo wanted that one.
Close pitch, didn't get the call from Nick Lentz. And now the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. We've really seen such growth and maturation from Luis Perdomo, going from where he began at the beginning of last season as a Rule 5 pick himself through here. Kind of fought through a tough beginning to this season, not getting a lot of run support, kind of was the tough luck loser a handful of times. But now, last 4 starts, 3-1 record. And looking for more here against the Tribe. 3-2 to Lindor is hammered out to the gap in right center field. Renfroe's not going to get there. Lindor can turn on the jets and go. He is thinking 3, and now he'll back it up to second base. But that's his 24th double of the year. And where that throw came in, I think he was a little bit frustrated with himself that he didn't try for that extra base.
Let's see the pitch. An elevated two-seamer out over the plate. Easier for the hitter to take to that gap. Some of the things that you're going to have to watch Hunter Renfroe obviously possesses that good arm. As we see Lindor going around, he wanted to go 3, and he would have been safe easily because the wild throw in right field. You could see the frustration at the end of that play.
He is no stranger to doubles. First hit of the series for Lindor, and Perdomo into the stretch here with 1 out in the first inning. Left-handed hitting Michael Brantley takes a strike. 4 for 4 last night as he saw his 8-game hitting streak come to an end against Trevor Cahill and company. Great to see Cahill return from the disabled list, 4 1/3 shutout innings, but his guys picked him up. Jose Torres got out of a sticky situation in the 5th. Yates worked the 6th. Buchter, Hand, Mauer, pretty much the blueprint for the Padres out of the bullpen last night. Encouraging return.
Very good. Very good off the disabled list. I watched the breaking ball. It had some good depth to it. Also weak contact last night against Trevor Cahill.
There's Carlos Ushuaia, and another ground ball for Luis Perdomo. That'll be out number 2. Lindor does advance 90 feet to third base as we take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers. What do you have, Mark Sweeney?
Well, Trevor Cahill 4 1/3 last night, so that puts on pressure for Luis Perdomo. This is probably going to be his last start of the first half, so he can unload in early offense. Very important to go against this Tribe team that struggles at home. 18-22 is a surprise to a lot of people.
Yeah, another loss in a close game here at home. That's been a theme for them as well. Home games decided by 1 run or 2-1. They're just 8-15. Edwin Encarnacion, the first baseman tonight, does not do a lot of that. Just his 13th start of the season in the field. Mentioned earlier, Carlos Santana on the paternity list. And Encarnacion, the only guy on this Indian team to have seen Luis Perdomo before. That was last summer in Toronto. When they signed him in the offseason, there was some talk about him and Santana kind of splitting duties 50-50 at first base. And not too long into spring training, Terry Francona kind of put a stop to that. He said, no, I think we're just going to kind of roll with Santana most days. And that's what they've done. There's a strike from Perdomo, 2-1.
Well, also Encarnacion did not get off to a very good start. Maybe the pressures of signing a big contract. But as of late, he has turned it up a notch coming in tonight with 17 home runs, 45 RBIs. I think a lot of people would take those.
Mentioned last night, the Indians 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. 0 for 1 so far tonight. And now a 2-2 count from Perdomo to Encarnacion. Luis gets his ground balls depending on which stat you look at. He either gets more than anybody else in baseball or third most in baseball, but it's him, Dallas Keuchel in Houston, Alex Wood with the Dodgers. Those are your ground ball experts. Clayton Richard of the Padres, of course, on that list as well. Pitcher's best friend is the double play. Doesn't need one of those here, but he can't get Encarnacion to chase. And this is something Andy Green has talked about as a non-strikeout pitcher. Luis Perdomo, sometimes things do become a little bit more difficult on him.
Well, sometimes you have to pitch to contact, but also have to have that wipeout pitch. It's the third full count early in this ball game.
And the 3-2 is swung on and missed. So there's the strikeout Perdomo wanted. He got it, and Lindor stranded 90 feet away. Indians already 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. Luis punches out Encarnacion. We'll go to the second scoreless at Progressive Field. Last night, a 1-0 game between these two teams. But if there is offense, remember the day after the Padres score 5 or more runs, get 50% off any regular menu price online order at papajohns.com. Just enter the promo code Padres5. Luis and Luis going over things in the dugout. After a 1-out double by Francisco Lindor, Perdomo gets out of the inning, and now Renfroe, Spangenberg, and Ibar in the second, and Hunter Renfroe hits that one a mile to left field. Forget it. I don't know where it landed. That thing is so out of here, and they're calling it a foul ball. Wow. He hit that one about as far as you can hit a ball, but not quite as straight as you can hit a ball. And now an 0-1 is blowing outside.
With that first pitch swinging, it's obviously going to the breaking ball in the second pitch. Just foul. Oof. That was a long one.
I mean, that's up over everything there, out onto the street. Like there are people coming in through the metal detectors. The sun kind of sets in left field, and so we're looking right at that. Nice job by the third base umpire, Alan Porter, to be on top of it, though. We were talking before the game started, Mark, you and I, about the longest home run ever here at this ballpark. As that pitch misses outside, it was hit by the Padre bench coach.
April 30th, 1997, off Oral Hershiser, off the scoreboard. Not this new scoreboard, but the old scoreboard.
Another hard hit ball. This one is clearly fair, and it's going to be a base hit for Renfroe. So a leadoff single for the Padres here in the second inning. And now Corey Spangenberg will come to the plate as Trevor Bauer allows a base runner for the first time tonight.
Like he took something off his fastball here. It leaks right over the middle of the plate. Anytime you get those mistakes, you got to hammer them, and that's what Renfroe does. Right past Lindor.
So a man on for the Padres. As the game began, we talked about Corey Spangenberg's great interleague numbers this year for whatever reason. Batting average in the 350s, and 3 of his 4 home runs this year have come against American League teams. And he gets ahead here, 1 ball, no strikes.
You know, getting back to that home run of Mark McGuire, the bench coach, talked to him before the game yesterday. I said, did you like hitting here? Because I loved it. Well, now I know why. You hit the farthest ball that this ballpark has seen. And he did hit some long ones.
Spangenberg takes up and away. It looked like the curveball didn't really curve there for Bauer, and he's starting to stomp around a little bit on the mound out there. He's an interesting guy. You know, we've mentioned the drone already a couple of times when he cut his finger during the playoffs last year, but he's a very emotional competitor. He'll have conversations with himself out there. He's basically a different cat. And now 3-0 to Spangenberg, and you know that could be something that a young guy has to sort of learn to harness as his career goes along.
Well, you talked about the drone, and think about bad timing. Obviously, the team is going for a chase to win a championship, and you end up doing that. Well, that's not going to go over too well. Obviously, Trevor Bauer has the type of stuff. He has to harness it. It's been very inconsistent in his career.
That's a 4-pitch walk to Spangenberg, and after he looked absolutely dominant in the first inning, Padres get the first 2 on in the second. Here's what he does pregame. So, okay, you got a little bit of like a javelin stretch type situation there. He's got the beats in, big time long toss. This is as he gets ready to pitch. And you got this routine with the arm, and then the first warm-up pitch. This is my favorite.
Yeah, I love this. Uncork it. If you're on the on-deck circle, you're wondering, hey, I mean, what's going on here? If you haven't seen Trevor Bauer, but the stuff and what he has in the repertoire is outstanding. It hasn't matched that yet.
He has struggled with men on base this year. Kind of a snowball type situation, and the Padres will see if they can pile on against him here in the second inning with 2 on, nobody out, and the switch hitting Eric Ibar at the plate, and he takes up and away. That's a 5th consecutive ball issued by Bauer. Now he'll get a visit from his personal catcher, Roberto Perez.
Well, anytime you're missing that arm side and you see that location that's not there. Here's the numbers that you talked about, Jesse. Coming in tonight, 7-6 with a 5.24 ERA. That tells me he's inconsistent because the stuff is definitely there. He can add and subtract with that fastball. But really, when it comes down to it, it's the consistency of the breaking ball.
You mentioned it. Diamondbacks took him 3rd overall back in 2011 out of UCLA. Traded the next winner in a 3-way deal with Cincinnati, Arizona, Cleveland. And there's a strike. 1-1 to Eric Ibar. Ibar, the only guy in this Padre lineup to have faced him in a real big league game. He's 3 for 7 against him. And you see the numbers overall for the veteran switch hitting shortstop. Hard hit and foul in the seats. Let's go downstairs, check in with Bob Scanlon.
Jesse and Mark, we've been talking about Trevor Bauer and how eccentric he is. He's very cerebral, and at one point in his career actually was throwing 7 or 8 different pitches. Now coming into this season, he started the season with 4, including a split finger, and then 4 starts ago he struggled against Colorado. The pitching coach and the catcher came to him and said, look, we're not going to throw all these pitches anymore. Your fastball, curveball only. That's what he has done the previous 4 outings. It was successful for him, but I've noticed tonight that he's back to using that slider. And so far, it looks like he's starting to get out of sync again, guys.
Very interesting. They can cut him down to 2, and it goes well. This one goes well. I believe that was the curveball. 3rd strikeout here in the second inning, and with runners on 1st and 2nd, now 1 away as Ibar heads back to the bench, and Matt Caesar comes to the plate.
One of the best curveballs he's had all night. You could see touching the top of the strike zone. Really putting that out of your mind until you get 2 strikes. And I don't think Ibar saw that coming into the strike zone. Very good curveball.
Bob, how tough is it to be successful as a starter at this level with just 2 pitches in your arsenal?
To be honest with you, if you can locate your fastball and get your breaking ball over for a strike when you want to and out of the zone when you need to, you can be very successful. I think a lot of guys get themselves in trouble thinking they need more pitches, but then they have 4 average pitches instead of 2 excellent pitches. Ideally, would you like to have more? Yes, but I understand why the Indians try to get him back to his 2 best to try to get him back on track.
That curveball misses, so again having some trouble commanding it. 2 balls and no strikes to Caesar.
Well, I tell you what, guys, when you hear cerebral pitcher and he is lacking command, I'm going to slow things down. I'm going to make him think on the mound because you're going to get a mistake.
Runners take their leads, and that misses outside. So 4-pitch walk to Spangenberg, and now he's gone 3-0 on Matt Caesar.
Ball strike ratio not very good. 28 total pitches. The Padres are waiting him out, looking for that mistake. Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach.
Nope. And another 4-pitch walk, the second of this inning, issued by Bauer. That's going to load the bases for the Padres with 1 out. And Carlos Asuaje coming to the plate. And you just mentioned Mickey Callaway. He's going to go visit his guy. Catcher Perez works pretty much exclusively with Bauer. And again, that sort of plays in everything we're talking about here. They like one catcher who sort of works with him every time. A, it's a way to get Perez some playing time, but B, they know each other. They've got a good relationship. He is not the easiest guy to work with. Not that he's a bad guy or a difficult person, just he throws a lot of pitches in the dirt, and you're going to be active back there, and he's just a little bit different.
Yeah, and that's challenging, both from the catcher and also the pitcher's perspective. I think Trevor Bauer wants to call his own game, so he's not relying on his pitcher so much. But I think you got to break it down and trying to be vanilla. That's when Trevor Bauer is probably going to be at his best.
And Sweens, that point that you just brought up, his wanting to do his own thing out there, was one of the reasons also that the Arizona Diamondbacks cut bait with him, because he was getting in fights with Miguel Montero about how to pitch and what pitches to throw. And on the one hand, you want to respect a young man for being true to himself, but at the same time, there's a lot to learn, and you got to stay open-minded.
So now Asuaje with the bases loaded. He takes the curve. That's a strike. In case you're curious, as Bauer tries to work out of this jam, no, Asuaje has never hit a grand slam because he's never hit a home run in the big leagues.
Not a bad time for his first.
Works for me. Curveball misses. 1-1. Asuaje busy at second base defensively last night already with 1 assist here tonight. You know that's going to be the case with the ground ball pitcher Perdomo up there. 0 for 2 with a walk in yesterday's opener, and now trying to size up a guy who's had command issues here in the second. High target from Perez, and that fastball is fouled back. How difficult is it to stand in knowing that a guy has kind of been all over the place?
Well, what to me, and watching this game, you're looking at that curveball. He's force feeding that curveball, in my opinion. It's been very inconsistent. So I try to zone in on the big part of the plate, maybe even the center of the plate. It's a 12-6 breaking ball, so you cannot give up on it, much like Eric Ibar did with that first punch out.
That's why he asks for time here. Renfroe is the runner at third. Spangenberg at second. Caesar at first. Lead single by Renfroe. The other two guys walked on 4 pitches. Big spot early for Bauer, and that curve misses, evens up. Southern California guy, Hart High School, same as James Shields. Large handful of other big leaguers. Mentioned UCLA, 3rd overall pick by the Diamondbacks. Traded to the Indians, 12-8 last year with 28 starts in the regular season, and in a very eventful and difficult postseason. 2-2. And Asuaje is going to be one of these guys, even if he does end up striking out, it's never going to be easy on a pitcher, it seems. Foul balls, taking close pitches. Come a long way since we saw him for the first time at spring training a year ago, after he came over in that trade with Margot and the Boston Red Sox. Curveball, got it. Good battle between Bauer and Asuaje. Carlos not so sure about that strike 3 call, but now 2 outs and the bases loaded for Luis Torrens.
Last 2 punch outs have come with the curveball. Let's see how he attacks Carlos Asuaje. First pitch breaking ball, getting in the zone. Now he starts to get inconsistent. That's the fastball that you want back. When you foul that fastball, especially with runners in scoring position, he gets another one, and he's had some mistakes, and then the punch out. Again, the curveball at the top of the zone. You can't give up on that 12-6 breaker.
It's a really, really nasty pitch, and a pretty good one there to Asuaje for out number 2. So Turan's getting the start in place of Austin Hedges, and he takes a fastball strike. 96 from Bauer. Well, we've seen Padre pitchers work out of a ton of bases loaded jams as of late, it seems. And now it's the opposition trying to do so. Hard hit, but right at Gonzalez. The young infielder has it, and the Padres leave the bases loaded here in the top of the second.
Sometimes the guy that doesn't get a lot of punch outs is a victim to that one inning where 3 ground balls go through holes, as opposed to like Dinelson Lamet, like punching a lot of guys out. If you can always get an out that way, it's it saves you a number of times. The way Kluber did last night, gets a guy on third, has to get a punch out, gets a couple of them. Those are big in those moments. He's not really a strikeout pitcher, so he's forced to get the ball put in play. A lot of ground balls. Sometimes those find holes. They tend to find more holes in the 6th inning because guys just get more familiar with him.
That's Andy Green talking about Luis Perdomo and how Luis can get himself deeper into ball games. So far, 7 times this season he's gotten to the 6th inning. That's not been a problem, but only twice has he been able to get past the 6th inning. We talked about it yesterday. If you're going to be an ace, you need to leave something a little bit later in the game to bust out. For Perdomo, that means one of 2 things: either getting the changeup going so that he can save the slider for later, or using that fastball to both sides of the plate a little bit more earlier in the count. Mark, this goes right to your point. One of your keys of the game of Luis Perdomo having to go a little bit deeper tonight.
And I think he has the ability to do that. And the 3rd time, yes, there's growing pains that come with it.
Another ground ball, and Luis doing his part as Myers flips to him 1-0.
Tell you what, though, when you see that report, I think hopefully Bob gets that sunscreen down there.
I was going to say, can we get him some flip downs?
That was some sun-splashed reporting down there.
Just time of year, direction the ballpark points. Sun comes straight in from left field.
See, now, yesterday I was told to actually have a little bit of a Clint Eastwood look going yesterday.
The squinting, I like it, yeah.
The man with no name and no vision because he can't see into the sun.
And the squinting is trending.
It is very bright in certain parts of this ballpark as the sun heads down. And 1 strike now to Lonnie Chisenhall, up for the first time tonight. Left-handed hitting right fielder. Gets him to roll over and foul it off.
Go down to Bob. And Bob, what are you seeing from Luis Perdomo? We've seen the 2-seamer and also the breaking ball to start off Chisenhall right there with strike 1.
So far, everything looks fine, and the normal stuff for Luis Perdomo. And the one thing that he's been working on with Darren Balsley on the side over the last several weeks is trying to pitch a little bit more out of the middle of the rubber, which allows his sinker to work more effectively to both sides of the plate. That's all fine and good, and that's why he's so successful through the first 5 or 6 innings getting his ground balls. But again, at some point, he's going to need to start to incorporate that changeup just a little bit more. Jesse, going to your point of if you're going to be a starter, do you need more than 2 pitches? The answer is long run, yes. And also, hopefully, pitching inside to the lefties like he's trying to do right now to Chisenhall.
Again, at just 24 years old, you know, he's anything but a finished product, and these are the sorts of things he can afford to work on as the Padres try and build the major league roster from the ground up. Great surprise last year, really came on with success, and now taking that next couple steps.
Well, it is. It's step by step.
Another ground ball. And Asuaje, sure-handed as ever. 2 down.
And when you think of the progress that he's made since last season in terms of, look, he's a guy that you can trust to get you through 5 or 6 innings now and keeping the ball game. That's a huge jump. That's great. And now the next jump is trying to get past that 6th inning. He has the stuff to do it. He obviously has the acumen as well. He's learned a lot in a short period of time, guys.
Yeah, let's not forget 9 wins last year, which was tremendous if you're thinking about a Rule 5 pick. And I think he has that presence now, especially after getting that first win off. He's still looking for that first win on the road.
0-3, though the road ERA is better than the home ERA. Again, he's had run support problems as former Padre Abraham Almonte stands in. First appearance of the series activated off the disabled list today. Had been out since the middle of May with a right bicep strain. Really slumping when he went to the DL, and the switch hitter swings and misses, 0-2. Sent to the Indians at the 2015 deadline for lefty reliever. Remember Mark Zepchinski. Padres picked him up exactly 1 year before that at the 2014 trade deadline. 2-seamer had good action on it, but he doesn't get the call. And now 1-2. Saw that pitch in the first inning as well.
Well, 96 miles an hour, so you have the velocity, but also a lot of movement. See how this comes close to catching that corner, and you can see Terrence pulling that into the strike zone, trying to showcase that pitch. That doesn't happen too much now with the pitch tracks.
In the air, well struck to left. Caesar's got the big wall to contend with. It's off the wall, down at his feet, and Almonte's got the second double of the night for the Indians. 1 out, 2-bagger by Lindor in the first, and now a 2-out double for Almonte, coming with 2 strikes here in inning number 2.
Yeah, you wonder where Luis Perdomo's concentration was. He wanted that previous pitch. Then they go to the 2-seamer away. I thought they were going to go to the breaking ball right here. But this is right over the middle of the plate, elevated. It flattens out, and then Almonte goes right off the left field wall.
Not quite Green Monster-esque out there, but it's plenty tall. And you get some funny bounces off the padding in left field. So Almonte, who when he went to the disabled list had been 2 for his last 29 doubles in his first AB since being activated. Catcher Roberto Perez, runner on second, 2 outs. And a fastball inside.
Another interesting element when you come to a new field. There's so many different quirks, and especially this ballpark has a lot of interesting caroms out in the outfield. That tells me that you're going to have to communicate, but also back each other up. See Caesar in left, swinging over to Margot in center.
Perez does have power, despite the fact that the numbers are way down this year. Injury riddled 2016, but then game 1 of the World Series, he went deep twice against the Chicago Cubs. First catcher to have a 2-homer game in the World Series since Gary Carter at Fenway in '86. I've seen both starting pitchers get frustrated at times here, and that pitch count is up for Luis at 40 here in the second inning. He thought he had strike 3 to Almonte. couple of moments later, a double, and now he has fallen behind the number 8 hitter. Is about as deliberate as we have seen Perdomo work, at least in recent memory. Two to Perez, and Torrens keeps it right there, but the count now full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. '25-year-old Eric Gonzalez on deck. He's the number 9 hitter tonight. Didn't see him in yesterday's game. Got him. Perdomo strikes out Perez. That ends the 2nd inning. Scoreless again in Cleveland. Mike and Clay, thanks so much. It's so tempting to say, what's the matter with the Cubs? What's the matter with the Cubs? But it's, again, not even the All-Star break yet. And we might look back at these conversations, right, in September and be like, oh, man, can't believe we were worried about them in July. But as the guy said, there is reason to be worried about them, having lost 5 straight before this win today against Tampa Bay.
Well, Jesse, it's a young roster, believe it or not. Even with that World Series championship last year, they're relying on a lot of young guys. And John Jay, that sneaky good sign, he's been excellent off the bench, including today's home run, which was his 2nd. Only Ichiro Suzuki has been better off the bench than John Jay.
Nice veteran pieces on those particular teams, as Jose Pirela leads off here against Trevor Bauer. Top of the order for the Padres in a scoreless game at Progressive Field. Last night, 1 total run was scored. That came home in the 5th inning. And now a full count, 3-2.
Oh, he's seen Jose Pirela, which lined out against a curveball in his first at bat. Gets in that fastball count. You're seeing that aggressive style.
Payoff pitch is lined the other way this time, and that will get the job done. Jose Perella with an opposite field single, had a hard hit double and a couple of other hard hit outs in last night's game. And he starts things off well here in the third.
Jesse, so many times we talk about shifting the field. This is exactly what I mean. That fastball away, going the other way. His first at bat, he gets the breaking ball. He pulls it correctly. This is really good hitting. Jose Perella, to me, has made so many great adjustments. Obviously, he's in better shape. Not going through that injury that he went through last year. But he is swinging the bat with authority at the top of the order.
So now Manuel Margot, leadoff man aboard, and an opportunity for the Padres against Bauer. Padres had the bases loaded, 1 out last inning. Bauer got out of it thanks to a strikeout of Asuaje, and he got Luis Torrens to ground out. Margot was credited with a hit last night on one of those multiple goofy plays that we had on the infield. It was the one where Corey Spangenberg was thrown out at the plate. So he has hit in 6 consecutive ball games. Behind here, no balls, 2 strikes.
You see Trevor Bauer trying to work on the top of the strike zone, but also grunting, trying to add a little bit to that velocity of the fastball.
Padres faced Zach Greinke in Arizona a month ago, and it was not the most well-attended game ever at Chase Field, and you could hear Greinke's grunting all over the building as Margot takes strike 3. 5th already for Trevor Bauer. He had 3 and 6 1/3 his last time out.
Well, with the velocity at the top of the zone, the good mixture of the curveball, and he got a call there. Nick Lentz hasn't been giving the Padres off the plate, but you see that one being given.
Yeah, Luis Perdomo somewhere is sitting around saying, hey, what about my 2-seamer into the lefty? A couple of times he's not gotten that call, including just before the Almonte double last inning. So now 1 out, and Will Myers at the plate, 0 for 1 with a strikeout, and that's hit well to left. Brantley trying to get there, and he reaches out and makes the catch. Hustling back is Perella. He'll make it. Hard hit. Myers not waiting around against Bauer, but a good play out in left field by Michael Brantley.
Well, the punch out hasn't been Will Myers' friend of late, so why not take that aggressive approach, especially on that fastball. It's a nice swing by Will Myers. Hopefully he can unlock himself offensively.
Brantley gets it done defensively, so after the lead single by Perella, strikeout, line out, and now Hunter Renfroe. He hit 1 out his first time. It was foul, but I mean, he hit it out of the ballpark, all the way out to left field. Takes the curveball here. That's a strike. 0-1. Hunter would end up singling through the hole on the left side, and he's swinging a good bat the last week or so. Really has been fun watching these young hitters, whether it's Renfroe or Margot, whomever, learn on the fly this year, and seeing Hunter Renfroe at the plate now as compared to the guy we saw in April, it's almost like it's a different person altogether.
And why is that? It's experience, getting those much needed at bats. There's swing and miss in his game. There's over swinging at times, but he will learn that. Look at Bryce Harper. Everyone knows that approach is full bore, and it's worked for him. And even he has had to throttle back a little bit. I think Hunter Renfroe is going to learn that as well.
Ball and 2 strikes and a check on Perella. Jose has stolen 3 bases this year, yet to be caught.
I've seen a lot of breaking balls to Hunter Renfroe. This is when Bauer tries to rear back and pitch at the top of the strike zone with the fastball.
Bauer having a game of catch with Encarnacion. It's certainly one of those things to keep in mind, that he doesn't play a lot of first base. And if you get into another tight ball game late, might want to test him defensively if you can. Pirela not running, and the 1-2 pitch is just away. Got a lot of activity from Trevor Bauer on the mound.
A lot of groundskeeping.
Two balls and 2 strikes. And now a full count to Hunter Renfroe.
Well, the more and more you see that breaking ball out of the hands, you're seeing that consistent delivery. With that 12-6 rotation, you'll see pitchers that will actually hook their hand. You can pick that up before they even release the ball.
With 2 outs, this time Pirela will go.
Fastball away.
And Renfroe takes it for strike 3. 6 strikeouts for Trevor Bauer. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and 2 in the third. By Ram trucks.
Well, last night defensively behind Trevor Cahill, big situation, and you can see with a runner on third base, he does a flash look to Ramirez on third. He takes off. The accurate throw to first base, Will Myers, and the quick delivery to Austin Hedges, nabbing Ramirez. Had a big situation early in the ball game last night. 1-0 victory for the Padres, and defensively that was a key to the game.
It was a great throw by both guys, great tag by Hedges, and perhaps the most wild thing about that play was that Trevor Cahill said he had no idea that the runner from third was trying to come home and score. And so he didn't rush it. He just made his normal throw to first base, and it ended up being a really good, strong throw, because if he loops it over to Myers, he's obviously going to come in and be safe.
Such a good point, because you can see that play evolving if you're Will Myers at first base. So sometimes even if you see that throw, you'll come off the bag, not get that out to try to prevent that run.
Good defensive moment last night. There were a couple for the Padres, and you're going to need those in a 1-0 game. Let's see about this defensive moment. Just out of Myers' reach, it goes into the seats, and that'll put Eric Gonzalez on second base. Well, Spangenberg got the bare hand, picked it up, and delivered a little bit high to Myers. It'll be an infield single and an error on Corey Spangenberg.
Well, Gonzalez runs very well and gets out of the box with this swinging bunt. Watch Corey Spangenberg's reactions in the barehanded play and the throw. Just off balance with the throw into the seats, but leading off this inning has been big for the Indians. It looked like with an accurate throw, he probably had a chance of getting him.
So you've got Gonzalez at second base, and the leadoff man Bradley Zimmer at the plate. He is obviously a very fast guy. And so Brad Mills, the acting manager for the Indians, can try different things here if he wants to, or just let the big rookie hit away. You missed it earlier. Terry Francona again kind of on a medical leave here. Had some tests done at the Cleveland Clinic yesterday. And Brad Mills working in his stead. At shortstop, that'll get the runner over. So the old productive out for Bradley Zimmer. Man on third, one away. And you got the big bats coming up now for the Tribe.
Just like what you wanted to do to be a young hitter in doing the little fundamentals. Being aggressive to swing the bat. But if you're asked to swing the bat, it has to be advancing that runner.
Padres will bring the infield in here in the third inning. We saw it early in the game yesterday with Kluber going. We're seeing it early again here tonight with what looks like it's going to be another pitcher's duel. One of those million little decisions a manager makes over the course of a game, and some of them end up being a big deal, others not. But trying to get a sense of what this game could be. And like last night, looks low scoring.
Runners in scoring position has been the nemesis for the Indians.
That will change it and put Cleveland on front for the first time this series. RBI single for Francisco Lindor. He doubled his first time up. Gonzalez comes home. And the Tribe on top here in the bottom of the third.
Well, Bob Scanlon talked about it earlier in this game. Use of the changeup. This looks like a changeup here, but it's elevated. See the location. But Lindor, with runners in scoring position, worked the center of the diamond. Just good hitting from the young shortstop.
So the Indians, by hitting one ball out of the infield, get their first run here in the bottom of the third. Perdomo has not rolled one of his patented double play balls yet, but this will be a fine time to do so. With Michael Brantley at the plate. He grounded to a Suaje his first time. And hits this one right to Ibar. Should be two. And it is.
What a call.
It happens every once in a while. Perdomo gets the double play. 1-0 Indians after 3. They've got a 1-0 lead as we go to the fourth, and it's time now for the Arco top tier player profile. Highest batting average among the Padres in interleague games this season. There he is, guy leading off here in the fourth inning. Corey Spangenberg. He likes hitting in these American League ballparks and against these American League teams.
Hit 8th last night for Andy Green, and tonight moves up to the 5th spot.
The interleague thing is so interesting because we do keep all of the stats on it and how the different teams do in interleague play and the different batters do and the different pitchers do. And I don't really know how much, if at all, to read into any of it. But the Indians are really interesting. This year in interleague play as a team, they're 2-10. Just obviously a terrible record against the National League. But the craziest part is the rest of the AL They're combined 86 and 61. Wow. So, I mean, the AL is dominating interleague play this year, but the Indians, for whatever reason, have won just 2 of their 12 games against the National League.
Well, I love interleague, and the reason why is that you get to see these different clubs, being able to see the DH, how is the game has changed. I love the National League style, but if you think about the dominance when it comes down to it, I think it has a lot to do with the DH itself. I think a lot of National League teams use it as a guy to get at bats.
No question about that. Long run by Gonzalez, and what a play at second base. Very nicely done by Eric Gonzalez, AAA All-Star last year, and making a big league play with the glove here in the top of the 4th tonight.
Well, getting a start because the starting second baseman Jason Kipnis has that bad neck. I don't think Kipnis gets to this ball, and if he does, might not even throw out Spangenberg. Nice play.
So 1 out for Eric Ibar. This is just the 5th ever series between these two teams, and the 4th here in Cleveland. The Indians people, they feel very cheated by that. By the way, why do you guys keep coming here? Can we please go to your place? That's what they keep saying. But
who doesn't want to go to San Diego?
That's what I'm talking about. Bob Scanlon, you had a chance to pitch here in the heyday of the Jake back in the day in the 90s, and it was an unbelievable atmosphere, wasn't it? Seemed like the place. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Jesse.
Gotcha.
There we go. Jesse, yes, this was one of my favorite places to pitch, actually, because of the energy and the atmosphere that was here. When this place first opened, you have to remember it was packed almost every single night, and it felt like the 7th game of the World Series when you came in here. Fans were abusive in the bullpen, all kinds of fun stuff. But, yeah, they had a good team, great energy here. It was a heck of a lot of fun.
Ibar hit by that pitch, and he's going to get first base. Indians wanted to see if he offered at it. But Eric reaches, and a 1-out base runner here in the 4th against Bauer. Padres have had their chances, but unable to cash in as of yet.
Let's see where it hits him, and it looks like that front right ankle, maybe even off that shin pad. I tell you what, Jess, coming over to this ballpark, I love the ballpark, but the history of this organization, and they're constantly showing those videos before the game. Absolutely love it.
Goes back a long way.
Sweens, is there anything better than old-time black and white video up on a big screen?
I love it. Obviously, it's not HD, but I love the history of the game, Bob, and I think that really comes into play when you enter this stadium. They're so proud of their history, and as well they should.
A lot of years, and it has been a lot of years as you take a look at the 2 World Series titles. Matt Caesar, now 1-1 from Bauer.
Okay, now here's the question, Sweens. When you watch the old video, I know you're analyzing the quality of the play.
Yeah.
And what do you see? What do you think? I mean,
you know what I saw today that I absolutely loved? I saw Dennis Eckersley, and it wasn't as a reliever. It was a starter. But he had the flowing locks still and the red Indians uni.
So you know what caught my eye today? A routine ground ball to shortstop on one of the, going back to the 50s or 60s, it looked like. And just dirt and dust flying everywhere. And it just reminded me how pristine the playing surfaces are now compared to those days, and how agile those fielders must have been back then.
Yeah, so
with the smaller gloves too.
Caesar trying to bunt here, and he fouls it off at the plate. You talk about it's been a long time for the Indians. They came so close last year, and still hunting for that first World Series title since 1948. Red Sox have checked their box thanks to Terry Francona and friends, and now of course the Cubs have checked theirs. So it's the Tribe we wait on, and they'll try and make another run at it this year for sure. Just a little bit outside, 2-2. Obviously we don't follow the Indians as closely as we do, the National League teams, and only see them once every few years, if that, but it seemed to happen very quickly this go round for them.
Yeah, it sure did. Like you think about the runs and the type of atmosphere that you have in the stadium, but You need guys to have career years. You need to have also developed players coming from the minor leagues that are going to infuse their energy into the lineup. Perfect storm last year because they did go through some injuries on their pitching staff. Had their ace Corey Kluber. This is a talented club. They went on a great run.
Runner goes and a ground ball third base. Ramirez has only one play. Nice little stretch by Encarnacion. Now it's time for something to smile about. Brought to you by Cricket Wireless. And for the Indians, they thought this was something to smile about. Aroldis Chapman, Rajai Davis, Game 7 of the World Series. This place, well, they all lost their minds.
Well, I think everyone went crazy. And even wherever you were, and LeBron's going crazy. How about the cameraman trying to sell out and trying to get that ball as it ricochets off of the camera? But of course, the Indians with that big moment. And then with the rain delay, the Cubs come back and snatch it again. What a great series that was. Obviously didn't work out the way the Indians planned it. A tremendous series for the game of baseball.
They overcame a lot just to get to that point, to get that close to it. Talk about a team motivated. It's easy to win 2 in a row. Excuse me, it's difficult to win 2 in a row. We talk about that all the time, and we were talking about the Cubs' struggles earlier. And no team in baseball has won back-to-back World Series since the Yankees won 3 straight, 98, 99, and 2000. It's a very tough thing to do for all kinds of reasons. And the Indians trying to kind of do now what Kansas City did, as this one is grounded up the middle. It gets through Gonzalez. On his way home is Ibar. The throw is not in time. Padres have tied it. And out at second base is Carlos Asuaje. Padres will wait and see. Worst case scenario, it's 1-1 going to the bottom of the 4th inning. Asuaje trying to make it to second base on that throw home. Perez made a pretty good throw down there. And now we wait along with Andy Green to hear what the Padre clubhouse has to say.
See Carlos Asuaje working the middle of the diamond. And the dive by Gonzalez, and then Zimmer trying to get the runner at home plate. That backside looks really close. You can see Asuaje hustling. Watch that left hand. Wonder if he gets in. And does he maintain on that second base?
Padres will not challenge, and so the inning is over, but they tie it up on the RBI single from Carlos Asuaje. 1-1 after 3.5.
I mean, the fans get into it. I mean, let's face it, everybody loves a home run, everybody loves a long ball. And this year's going to even be more exciting with these young kids that are just putting up unbelievable power numbers. So it definitely will be a must-watch Monday night. It's a blast, I'm telling you. I encourage everybody to do it. It should be mandatory. Top 5 or 6 home run hitters in both leagues should be in it, no matter what.
You want to talk about bringing out the little kid in a grown man? Ask Mark McGwire about the home run derby. He was having so much fun talking about it, guys. He has such great memories from it. As you may recall, he won the Derby in 1992 when it was in San Diego. He was a part of countless home run derbies, had a great time with all of them. And he is still surprised that some guys say that it messes up their swing. He says, look, what are you trying to do during batting practice anyway? He doesn't get it. He thinks everybody should be involved.
That's a lot of fun. And like you said, hearing a grown man get that giddy and that excited about something is always pretty cool. And I remember the show he put on at Fenway in '99.
Oh yeah, that's exactly it. That's what I think about. Even when he was talking about the home run, 1999 to me in Boston was one of the best All-Star games, and it was spectacular because you remember Ted Williams was brought onto the field. You think about the home run derby. I think about Giancarlo Stanton. Last year won it in San Diego. He put on an absolute show. But be careful of Miguel Sano. Hits the ball out of the building. I think Aaron Judge and everyone would love to see Cody Bellinger do well. I think when you're a rookie in that scenario, maybe the nerves get you a little bit. But I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Judge made it interesting.
It's very hard to pick against Stanton, I think. Home ballpark, all of that. You know whose name I did not see on that list anywhere? He must not be participating. Logan Morrison of the Tampa Bay Rays.
That's what I heard.
He has not been invited to participate in the home run derby, and he's not particularly happy about it, which I guess is good in the sense of we're talking about how, you know, some of these guys turn down the opportunity and they don't want to do it and they're worried about it messing up his swing. Morrison very vocal about not being invited, despite the fact that he is among the home run leaders in the American League this year. Very interesting how the different guys think different things about the home run derby. Here's Jose Ramirez with one out in the bases empty. Tie game in the bottom of the fourth inning. Teams combined for one run last night, a Padre victory, and it's 1-1 here in the fourth tonight, and another ground ball. Carlos Asuaje makes the play. Yeah, we're talking about Lomo, a former Marlin himself, by the way, former Mariner, now with Tampa Bay. So it's not just that he wasn't invited, he doesn't know why Gary Sanchez is there. Gary's a great player, but he shouldn't be in the home run derby. I remember when I had 14 home runs, that was a month and a half ago.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Does everyone remember what Gary Sanchez did when he came up to the big leagues last year? Obviously, it's a home run derby, and yes, you're going to talk about this year. I think Gary Sanchez, and I think a lot of people want to see the youth served in the game of baseball. But I understand where Logan's coming from because he has had a tremendous first half in his own right.
I totally understand where he's coming from, but also, like, you got to remember what the home run derby is. It's an exhibition. It's a fun thing. It's not like a real deal. It's just something for the fans. And I mean, no offense to Logan Morrison, but more fans are into Gary Sanchez than they are into Logan.
Very true. I think that comes into the equation.
Of course it does. It's an exhibition event. That's a hard hit ground ball up the middle from Chisenhall. He's 1 for 2. And a 2-out single here against Perdomo. Time now for the timeless moment, brought to you by Coors Banquet. Speaking of Big Mac, how about this? July on this date, 5th, 1987. First rookie to ever hit 30 home runs before the All-Star break.
When you think about that year, he ended up with 49 home runs. And most of those home runs, believe it or not, were to center field and right center.
Two-out base runner for Abraham Almonte. Doubled his first time up, off the wall and left. And Perdomo misses.
I love the home run derby. I still love it.
It's a lot of fun.
I think guys have to get away from that mentality of it's ruining their swing. I know there's stories out there. Remember Bobby Abreu in Detroit, where he won it and ended up going through a tough stretch after the All-Star game.
It's one of those things that if it's true or not, once a guy believes it, it's going to be really hard to convince him otherwise.
And I don't think the media helps as well, because you're writing those stories. I wonder if they're going to struggle after the All-Star game and after the home run derby. I just think you go out there, you enjoy it, and take that attitude that Mark McGwire was saying. Have fun with it.
I think for me, one of the best things about it is seeing the other players, the other big leaguers, act like fans. And the guys sitting down on the field, they've got their kids, or they're just there on their own and acting like we do when we sit in the bleachers.
Think about being a little kid too. Ken Griffey Jr. with a hat turned around and that sweet left-handed swing. Remember that in Denver when he was just launching baseballs.
It was a treat to have it at Petco Park last year. And now the scene shifts to Miami, and then what, next year Washington, another National League ballpark.
And right after that it comes here to Progressive Field.
This place has really stood the test of time, so to speak, in an era where it seems like ballparks are lasting fewer and fewer years. This thing does not seem as old as it is. Not that it is old. Myers can't get there. Neither can Asuaje. Chisenhall is going to go first to third. And Abraham Almonte, who had 2 hits in 29 at bats before going on the disabled list, is now 2 for 2 tonight.
I think Will Myers wants this ball back, getting off first base. I think this was a playable ball. Kind of in between. Watch the reaction. Looks like he could have got a little bit dirty, as you can see Asuaje with the effort on the backside.
So the Indians making a little bit of noise here with 2 outs, runners on the corners for the number 8 hitter catcher Roberto Perez. There's Chisenhall, Almonte at first. And this is exactly what you and Bob were talking about earlier. You know, for Perdomo, you're going to get ground balls, and some of them are just going to find their way through. And you got to fight through that. Perez trying to get the bat going. Plays about twice a week. Yan Gomes gets the bulk of the time behind the dish for them. Both guys veteran catchers. Neither a spring chicken, certainly in terms of catcher years. They're not Jake Taylor old, but they're up there for, you know.
I see where you're going.
Position players. Gomes started last night's game. He'll turn 30 at the end of the month. Perez is 28. Nice stop by Torrens.
Well, that's exactly what we're talking about, Jesse. Right there, the maturation of Luis Torrens. Big situation, first and third, and being able to give that confidence to Luis Perdomo to be able to throw that breaking ball, bury it in the dirt. Very good execution by the young backstop.
Veteran catchers on one side and a very, very young catcher on the other, just 21 years old. That one is tipped into his mitt, and now a ball and 2 strikes on Perez, who struck out his first time up. Indians have struggled with runners in scoring position. Luis trying to continue that here in the 4th inning. And now time called just as he's ready to go. Padre bullpen got their work in last night after Cahill came back from the DL to go 4 1/3. See how long Perdomo can last here tonight. The 1-2 to Perez, and he got him. Nasty looking pitch, and he strikes him out for the 2nd time. That's 4 on the evening for Perdomo. No runs, 2 hits, and the Indians leave 2 more on base. So he gets Perez for the 2nd time tonight, 1-1 after 4. Baseball brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers. Visit us at sdhondadealers.com. By Sequan Casino. Sign up for the Padres Club Card today. And by Buick. Padres and the Indians playing another low-scoring, close ball game. Second of 3 between these two teams at Progressive Field, and the Padres trying to win 2 in one series against the Indians for the first time. Cleveland has taken 2 out of 3 in all 4 of the previous meetings between these two teams, including the last one, which was here in April of 2014. Luis Torrens was what, like 15 years old when that series was played, and he'll lead off here. Trevor Bauer on the mound, and he started one of those games. Actually started the second game of a doubleheader the two teams had to play. And I went back and I looked at the box score of that game, Mark Sweeney. There's not one single guy who appeared that night for the Padres that has anything to do with this organization again.
That's not good.
It wasn't that long ago. I mean, it just shows you what a total rebuild they've been through. First week of the season, 2014. Everett Cabrera, Kristen Orfia, Seth Smith, Yonder Alonso, Chase Headley, Jed Jerko, Tommy Medica, Grandal, Venable, Amarista, Rivera. Those are the position players used in that game. And now a whole new cast of characters, and obviously a new manager as well. Pitchers that night against Bauer: Erlin, Thayer, Benoit, and Street. That one is looped into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. So Luis Torrens, put into the starting lineup a little bit late this afternoon, goes the other way. Now 1 for 2 with a single.
Well, we saw the stat right there. He has been much better. Luis Torrens continues to mature in the game with that playing opportunity. Alan Zinter talked about him getting in a better posture. You can see the approach and going the other way. The conscious effort going the other way. But even if it's off the end of the bat, it's progression. Watched him batting practice today. He was launching balls to right center out of the ballpark. I love the way he is creating that, Jesse, because he is trying to take everything in and process it during a Major League Baseball game. That is very difficult.
Yeah, at that position more than any other. I mean, when you think about that, we're talking about other Rule 5 guys. Diaz, I know he's hurt now, the pitcher. Obviously, Cordoba, infield, outfield type guy. But for a catcher to have to process, hey, I got to face Major League pitching now. Oh, and I have to catch it? And game plan and call a game and be aware of every single pitch every time I'm in there. That's got to be such a difficult thing to do for a young, inexperienced guy.
Yeah, and most of the guys, you think about Torrens, it's spot starts because Austin Hedges is going to get a huge amount of the starts. So that adds to the difficulty of what he goes on, plus the importance of how he prepares. And talking to Alan Zinter, he loves the way he is energized into getting better every single day, not only from the catcher standpoint, but putting in the work in the cages as well.
Ball and a strike to Jose Perella. That's Torrens at first. And now 1-2 after that good curve from Bauer. Third time through the order now as the Padre leadoff hitter is up, and you see Bauer's struggles as he faces guys for the third time. Perella singled his last time, lined out hard to left his first time up, and a good job by the catcher Perez there. 2-2. Let's talk about that Rule 5 draft, though. Andy Green said something I thought really poignant the other day when he was asked about it. He goes, look, we're treating, based upon where we're at right now, the Rule 5 draft different than most clubs. Most clubs see the Rule 5 draft as, let's try and find a guy who's as close to Major League ready as possible. And the Padres don't have to do that. They're playing the long game right now in terms of developing talent and sort of rebuilding everything. And they don't have to worry about who's Major League ready. They just kind of have to think about who could be there in the long term. This one is launched to deep right, and Zimmer cannot make the catch up against the wall. Torrens will come in and score. Perella's going into third base. It's an RBI triple, and the Padres take a 2-1 lead, and Bradley Zimmer is just now getting to his feet out in right center field.
Well, what an effort by the young center fielder. But again, Jose Perella continues to punish the baseball.
I mean, he has hit it hard pretty much every single time he's made contact in this series.
Elevated fastball going the other way. He has done it with all pitches tonight. And watch the effort by Zimmer. Good to see him with that fencing, being able to get up from that effort. He has made some spectacular catches. Good to see him get up from that jump into that wall.
Pirela on third base, and now a 2-1 Padre lead. And yeah, I mean, it's always so tough for these outfielders, the different surfaces out there. You just sort of expect padding, and then, oh yeah, there's that one little area where you've got the chain link. I always think about Aaron Rowand in Philadelphia when that ballpark first opened. Face first, broke his nose, as I recall. Ball and a strike to Margot. We'll be going to Philadelphia after tomorrow's game. Padres and the Phillies this weekend. Final 3 games before the All-Star break. Manuel takes 2-1. Infield most of the way in for the Indians here. And that's in the air, right field. Chisenhall lining it up. We'll see what they decide to do. Pirela is tagging, and he will not attempt to score. And that was definitely the right decision as the throw comes right into home plate. So not deep enough off the bat of Manuel Margot. Now 1 out. But still a good opportunity here for Will Myers. Pirela only 90 feet away. Will above average in these situations. Was in one last night. Did not get it done. What do you make of where they're playing the infield here? Kind of like most of the way in, but not fully.
Well, what that tells me defensively, just trying to get a little bit more versatility, maybe even being able to cover more ground when you're pinched in so much. Very difficult. Has a lot to do with the speed of the runner at third base. Jose Pirela runs well, but I wouldn't say blazing speed.
Try to buy yourself a little bit extra time and earn a little bit of extra range. Makes sense. I feel like you don't see it very often. It's usually they're halfway or in, but they're kind of in between those two. We'll call it 3/4 for the Cleveland infield.
Well, we've even seen the Tony La Russa teams that they'll start back and they'll move in during the pitch. I think baseball's tried to get them away from doing that.
Myers takes the curve, 1-2.
Really looks like Will is in that guessing game too many times instead of just getting up there and reacting. He's getting pitched differently because of the protection part of it. Remember, Yangervis Solarte on the disabled list factors into that.
That is a fastball and strike 3 called. 7th strikeout of the night for Trevor Bauer. He's punched Myers out twice, once in the first, now here in the 5th, and just like that, 2 outs.
Well, he struggled with the breaking ball, so how you prevent that? You hammer the fastball. Too many times he has been looking at that fastball, and that's the guessing game that you have to go through. Been a tough stretch for Will Myers.
Bauer has 1 double-digit strikeout game this year. It was a huge one, 14 against Oakland on May 30th. And he's got 7 so far here tonight, pitching in the 5th inning, though that pitch count is a bit up. Didn't see much of their bullpen last night after Kluber went 8. Just a really nice win for the Padres in this series opener, and now trying to make it 2 straight against the Tribe.
Well, Jesse, last time against Hunter Renfroe, a lot of breaking balls, and they were off the plate. See how Hunter Renfroe reacts to this one. Maybe get a mistake.
Pirela at third with 2 outs, and he hammers the breaking ball off the glove of Lindor and into left field for a base hit. That'll do. RBI single for Hunter, and a 3-1 Padre lead in the 5th.
Well, what plate coverage by Hunter Renfroe. I think that curveball was in the back of his mind because of his last at bat. And he gets that breaking ball, and this is an absolute scud. That's a tip drill by Lindor. Obviously, he knows he needs to catch that one, but the reaction of Trevor Bauer indicates that as well.
They're calling it an error on Lindor. So no RBI for Renfroe. But the main thing is the run comes home, and the Padres have a 2-run advantage as Corey Spangenberg swings through a fastball, 0-1.
Well, again, last night in the ball game, some mental lapses in the middle of the diamond. Tonight, that play needs to be made.
Indians were not charged with an error in the 5th inning last night, but a couple of times, look, plays that have to be made. And they weren't, and that led to the only run of the night, which was driven in by this guy. Game break coming up. Marlins and the Cardinals in St. Louis. Curve misses badly, and now 2-1 to Spangenberg. Padres have scored twice here in the 5th against Bauer. Big swing on the 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Evens up 2-2.
Trevor Bauer starting to make some mistakes, and especially the heart of the plate. That last one to Corey Spangenberg was a mistake.
Pitch number 90 from Trevor Bauer. And it's fouled away by Spangenberg into the seats and out of play. Gallister warming up for the Tribe. And again, that pitch count for Bauer coming into play here in the 5th.
Now Bauer 12 of 16 starts. He's pitched over 100 pitches. Season high 125.
Spangenberg spoiled that curveball.
You know, watching Bauer, Jesse, it has a lot to do with, obviously he has the velocity. We've seen 96 miles an hour tops, but I believe that his motion really gives you that good look of that arm swing. Has a lot to do with it. When guys that have plus velocity but they show their arm, you can pick up their release point a little bit better.
Hard hit by Spangenberg, but pretty much right at Chisenhall, who goes down and makes the catch. Inning comes to a close, but the Padres do add on. They get a couple. The first one on an RBI triple by Jose Perella. A couple of moments later, he comes in on the air by Lindor, and the Padres have a 2-run advantage.
Well, you think about Giancarlo Stanton over the weekend was talking to Don Mattingly, the manager of the Marlins. He's hitting in the 2 spot He said it really puts a lot of pressure on the opposition and how they handle it down the.
Fair ball down the left field line. That's going to be a leadoff hit for Gonzalez. Caesar digging it out of the corner, and a standing double. The young second baseman is 2 for 2. Singled and scored back in the third. He doubles here, and that is the third two-bagger of the night for the Tribe.
You see Luis Perdomo mad at this pitch. Looked like a breaking ball down the line. Good effort by Corey Spangenberg. That's a reactionary play at that hot corner. That's the reason why they call it the hot corner. Hot smashes.
Gets on you in a hurry. I would imagine, yeah, going back to your point, that Stanton batting second as a pitcher, very uncomfortable.
Well, you know, D. Gordon, the left-hander, is leading off most nights. But also Ichiro, some of the left-handers off of their bench. Forces the hand of the opposition.
Bradley Zimmer almost made a spectacular defensive play in the top of this inning, but it ended up being a triple for Jose Pirela. Grounded to short and to second. Talk about Stanton hitting 2 more. I saw Aaron Judge went deep this afternoon at Yankee Stadium. What was the record he tied? Joe DiMaggio's rookie home run record for the Yankees.
Oh yeah, Joe DiMaggio.
Like for the entire season, he has hit the same number of home runs as DiMaggio did as a rookie. And it's not yet the All-Star break. Probably break it before the All-Star break. That's incredible. Zimmer swings and misses 1-2. Perdomo's had the velocity up all night. And am I wrong in saying that there have been times when he's been more effective with less velocity?
Yeah, and you know what? That one was really good too, because I wonder how many times he's going to implement the 4-seam fastball right there, pitching above the barrel. Very difficult to do if you rely on that 2-seam. 96 on the high, 82 on the low. The 82 is the breaking ball.
1-2 to Zimmer, and that one is way high at 95.
I just like that because if you're able to use that 4-seamer, you can change that eye level to induce that ground ball, possibly even a punch out, which would be big here.
He's gotten 4, 2 from Encarnacion, 2 from Perez. Last night seemingly everybody struck out for the Indians, and just a quick moment there for Gonzalez to get back to second base. He got hung up in between, but makes it without a play.
Well, again, Turan's working behind the plate. The breaking ball into the lefty. See him making that flash look to see what Gonzalez is going to do at second base.
See Ibar holding up the hand with the young catcher back there. Not worth it in this situation. Kind of a risk-reward decision, and that's a good little play by Ibar. Meanwhile, full count to Zimmer. And the payoff pitch from Perdomo is a ground ball. Every inning been 1 or 2. And on to third base is Gonzalez with 1 away all night long. He's been in trouble, and for the most part, he's gotten out of it.
Well, let's take a look at Luis Perdomo because of how he's finished innings has really been important for me tonight. See the strikeout in the first by Encarnacion. Again, the strikeout and the double play in the third. Coming back in the fourth, being able to punch out Perez. Finishing innings and getting out of trouble for Luis Perdomo tonight.
Usually a pretty quiet night for the Padre outfielders when Perdomo starts, and that's the case again here this evening. Just the 1 double play so far. And now a high chopper, but foul at first base. Lindor at the plate. Runner on third is Gonzalez. He has brought home the only Indian run of the series. Gonzalez scored the first one back in the third inning. Same kind of thing. And they just sort of manufactured it, played some small ball.
Well, strike one so imperative. 14 out of 20 for Perdomo tonight.
1 ball and 1 strike. Boy, two very competitive games so far in this series as the Padres go toe-to-toe with the defending American League champions. Beat the ace last night and have a lead here in the bottom of the 5th tonight. 1-1 to Lindor. Off of Perdomo into right field. That's going to be a base hit. Boy, talk about a tough luck situation, and obviously you hope Luis is okay physically. That's going to end up being an RBI double for Lindor on a ground ball right off the pitcher.
No, I think this would have gone up the middle because you can see it's on that right side of the mound. Ricocheting, as you said, off of Perdomo and into right field, and cruising into second base is Lindor.
It's a little bit of a painful moment, but he appears to be all right. And the second double of the night for Lindor. 1-run game, tying run in scoring position for Cleveland. With 1 out and Michael Brantley coming up. The 30-year-old left-handed hitter came over in the CC Sabathia trade in July of 2008. Been a mainstay for the Indians since, despite the injury last year. And he takes a fastball strike, bottom of the zone, 0-1. Hit the ball to Asuaje his first time, and over to Ibar for the double play. Luis gets ahead of him as well with strike 1. And now pitching the dirt, smothered by Terens, 1-1. Last night in Cleveland, a sellout crowd of 33,000 plus, and not jam-packed tonight, but they are making some noise trying to get behind their team here in the 5th inning. Brantley off of Perdomo. This time Spangenberg has a chance. Not in time. Unbelievable. Back-to-back balls off of the pitcher Perdomo. And now runners on the corners.
Well, it's target practice for the Indians, working the center of the diamond. You can see probably being able to glove that is Perdomo, but it's on that right hip area. There's nothing you can do if you're a ground ball pitcher. That's the only thing you can do. She used to drive Kevin Brown, former right-hander, crazy with teams that would hit the ball on the ground. There's nothing you can do because that's what you're trying to induce, the ground ball. You see Brantley's simple approach, lets the ball travel.
Well, we love the cliche. You turn on a ball game, you go to a ball game, you may see something you've never seen before. It is true amazingly more often than not, and I can't ever recall seeing back-to-back deflections off of a pitcher for hits. And that's what the Indians do here in the 5th against Perdomo. So they're on the corners for Edwin Encarnacion. Lindor chews away at third base, Brantley at first. And a big bat at the plate. 0 for 5 in the series with 4 strikeouts. Ground ball at somebody would do well here. And Luis delivers a fastball for strike 1.
You know, so many times in RBI situations, those veteran guys will try to sit on a breaking ball. Got to be careful of that get me over breaking ball in this scenario.
One ball and 1 strike to Edwin Encarnacion. Hard hit and foul at third base. 88 pitches now for Luis Perdomo. Dangerous spot with 2 on, 1 out. Be interesting to see the kind of leash Andy gives Luis Perdomo here.
Well, you think about it, this is probably his last start in this first half. The All-Star break coming up. His turn in the rotation would be after the All-Star break. So that might come into play here.
That one skips in front of the plate. Really nice job by Torrens.
Well, he's put on a clinic out in the back there, especially with those balls in the dirt. Continues to progress. See that 2-seamer on the outside part of the plate for a double play.
It is a chopper. Spangenberg, Ibar. It is a double play. Perdomo gets out of the inning. He does it as well as anybody in baseball. 5-4-3, and the Padres still lead after 5. Going to the 6th inning as we take a look at our Fan Diego fan of the game. Padre fan. I saw a couple on the streets today.
I sure
downtown
did too.
Cleveland.
Yeah, it's good to see.
Opportunity to come check out a ballpark. You don't get to see that often. I know there are some Padre fans who live in the area as well. Take in a ball game at what I think really is one of the best ballparks in all of baseball. Got that reputation pretty much right out of the chute when it opened, but it has maintained great staying power for what is now called Progressive Field. Eric Ibar leads off, and Trevor Bauer misses high with a fastball. There's some more. A whole family of Friar fans. If you like the brown, by the way, make sure to join us Friday night in Philadelphia. Both teams will be wearing throwback uniforms for the first game of that series.
How about you? It sounds like you got a throwback uni.
I brought the brown jacket, orange tie.
I whiffed it.
I whiffed the 4th of July, don't worry. Ibar fouls it back 2-1. So, right, like usually I do radio. I'm not too worried about what I pack. It's just kind of, you know, throw some stuff into the thing and whatever. But I did grab for a red tie when I was packing the other night. And I thought to myself, Indians and Phillies. Mark, those are 2 red teams.
So you got to be careful.
I'm not going to pack the red tie. Yeah, I don't need, you know, some member of the Padre bullpen giving me a hard time. Oh, I like your Phillies tie, because that's the kind of thing that happens, right? And so I put the red tie right back into the closet. And then yesterday, it's the 4th of July, and I'm getting dressed. I got the blue jacket, the blue shirt, and a blue tie. No red tie, which would have been perfect on the 4th of July.
That always happens. I have a lot of purple ties for some reason. I have no idea why. So before we play the Colorado Rockies,
put it all away.
I'm actually gonna wear them until they get to there. I don't want to take the heat.
It's a good observation if you're a fan. Take a look at what people who work for the team are wearing immediately before and after a Rockies series.
Yes.
It's a lot of purple.
Yes, it is.
You got to get it out of the way, or it's back into the rotation. And yeah, these are the things that we think about. Wrongfully or rightfully. Probably wrongfully. Bauer shakes off Perez with Ibar leading off here in the 6th, and a hard hit grounder the other way. That's through for a leadoff single. Ibar on for the 2nd consecutive time. He was hit by a pitch and scored back in the 4th. And an opposite field single here in the 6th.
Well, Eric Ibar came in against Bauer with 3 hits and 7 at bats, and this is really nice. See the fastball elevated and going the other way, hitting the ball where it's pitched. That veteran shortstop with a nice hitting approach.
6th hit of the night for the Padres. And now, as Ibar takes his lead off of first, it'll be the left fielder Matt Caesar. Bauer's 99th, misses low.
Well, back-to-back nights, this Padre offense has produced some really good at bats. Obviously, you're judged on hits and runs, but you look at taking down the ace of the Indians, and then tonight, some solid approaches up and down the order.
Bauer paying some attention to Ibar, and he's got a sneaky stolen base total this year. He's got 6, only caught twice. He has picked his spots. And obviously with a 1-run lead here in the 6th inning, bottom part of the batting order, wouldn't be the worst time to try and go. He is not, and the pitch misses high and outside.
Well, when that concentration is on the base runner, that's a benefit to the hitter. I go over a couple times, that instantly locks me in, as you see the 100 pitches for Bauer. But it locks me into that fastball, especially in a count like this. It's a good hitting run count as well.
Padres tried one with Hedges at the plate yesterday. He is going, and Caesar fouls it back our direction. Well, you're talking about what they did last night against Corey Kluber. Very, very impressive, obviously, anytime you take down a guy like that. And the Padres this year have had a handful of games against elite starting pitchers where the guy has pitched well and the Padres have come out on top. April 8th, Bumgarner goes the distance and loses. April 19th, Greinke goes the distance and loses. And then Kluber last night, 8 innings and a 1-0 loss. Caesar again in the air foul, this time behind the first base dugout. 2-2.
You know, Jesse, to your point, obviously the division has those aces. Clayton Kershaw comes to mind in Los Angeles. Backed with another effort last night, but you're right. I mean, you have to learn how to take down those aces. They're not going to give up a lot of runs, so you have to win those close games. That comes with battling offensively, but also having the bullpen like the Padres had last night.
And you know you're not going to get much of a margin for error. And they made, as we've discussed, some really key defensive plays in that game. Hard hit, and again it's off of Lindor's glove and into left center field. Brantley backhands it. Caesar retreating to first base, but the Padres are going to be set up with runners on the corners and nobody out here in the 6th inning. Caesar thought about 2. I think he made it about halfway and then very quickly returned to first base.
Well, slowly you're seeing Bauer with these mistakes, and the Padres are pounding the baseball. Also pounding it towards Lindor. That was given a hit, but you can see Matt Caesar jacking on the brakes and headed back to first base, 1st and 3rd.
Lindor has had a couple tip off the glove. One was called an error last inning that brought home a run for the Padres. This one called a hit, and Carlos Asuaje stands in with runners on the corners and nobody out. RBI single his last time, and a foul ball here in back of Johnny Washington.
See the defense straight up on Asuaje. Corners are in and double play depth in the middle of the infield.
Swahe takes the breaking ball in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bauer now at 105 pitches. He threw 103 Wednesday against the Rangers in his last start. In over 100 now in 5 consecutive starts.
13 of 17.
Nick Goody, the right-hander, is up. As long as it's not Andrew Miller. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, that's the reason why it's so important for this Padre offense to capitalize in scoring position. Keep adding on.
Talk about the popularity of Andrew Miller. It's really an amazing thing for a guy, and I hate using this term because it is not fully descriptive, but he's a middle reliever, right? He's not a closer, he's not a starter. And they're doing a jersey giveaway on Saturday for Andrew Miller, as they should. Well deserved. Curveball hung and hit into left field for a base hit. Swahe's got another RBI. And the Padres tack on a 4th run here in the 6th.
Well, you said it, Jesse. That was a hanging breaking ball. And watch how he hangs back on this, tracking it with his eyes and going the other way. Beautiful hitting by Swahe with runners in scoring position. That'll end the night.
Trevor Bauer is finished. He will depart with nobody out here in the 6th inning. Singles from Ibar, Caesar, and Swahe. He is being replaced with the Padres on top 4-2.
Thank you so much for joining us for Padres POV. We appreciate it.
No, thank you guys for having me here.
We are taking you back to your Venezuelan roots, and we are going to eat some arepas. On this team, there's a couple other guys that are from Venezuela. Do you still feel like, oh, some of my guys?
It's really nice for me that I'm coming to a new team and have that many friends. I think it gets you more comfortable.
Friday on Padres POV, presented by Nissan. We head back to Jalish Chassin's roots as we dig into some authentic Venezuelan food. Friday after Padres Live.
Looks delicious. And yeah, in his last start, Padres tied their own major league record. 5 Venezuelan-born players in one lineup. Pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford for the 30th time this year. Nick Goody comes in out of the pen for the Indians in a 1.14 earned run average. It isn't just Miller, it isn't just Allen. I mean, these guys, especially at the beginning of the year, were basically unhittable. They've come back to earth a little bit, some of them, but one of the best bullpens in baseball. Padres, though, have added on here in the 6th. They're looking for more. Number 9 hitter Luis Torrens at the plate. Everybody expecting bunt. He pulls it back, and it's 1-0 from Goody.
Last 10 games for Goody, 9 2/3 innings, 8 hits, only 1 earned run, 7 walks, and 12 Ks.
There you go. Lowest bullpen ERAs in baseball. How about 2 American League teams at the top of that list? And then 2 NL West teams.
Well, the NL West is strong this year.
picked up on that without question. Torrens gets the bunt down in foul territory. You've got Asuaje at first, Caesar at second, nobody out. 1 run already in here in the 6th inning.
How about catcher Perez directing traffic, asking Encarnacion to charge that bunt?
Well, we talked about it earlier. Encarnacion, not that he's inexperienced at first base, but he's not gotten a lot of time there this year. Only his 13th start of the season, and he's not necessarily the most agile guy in the world.
Well, that tells me, Jesse, that that's where you want to put the bunt down. With that lack of experience and opportunities in a game, the game might speed up a little bit.
Torrens not hiding his intentions at all, and he bunts it out in front of the plate. Pitcher Goody has trouble picking it up, and they just do get Torrens. But it is a successful sacrifice. Call it 2-4. Caesar goes to third, Asuaje to second, 2 men in scoring position for the guy perhaps hitting the ball as hard as anybody right now for the Padres, Jose Pirela.
Perfect execution by Luis Torrens, the young backstop. He's doing it all tonight. You could see with the bobble by Goody, almost ends up getting to first base. You can see Perez asking Encarnacion to charge the bunt, but a perfect bunt by Torrens in the middle of the diamond.
I think I said 2-4. Sorry, obviously 1-4 with the pitcher making the play just barely. Now the Indians bring the infield most of the way in. Pirela takes in a called strike from Goody, who will celebrate his 26th birthday tomorrow. Pirela's pretty locked in at the plate. Did not like that call. Hard hit out in the first. Single in the third, RBI triple and a run in the 5th.
He's hanging some laundry on some of the line drives he's putting out there.
Last night and tonight. That one's hit hard but popped up. There's Encarnacion, and he makes the play. Out number 2. So with Caesar still at third base, Asuaje still at second, Manny Margot.
Oh, Manny's been excellent with runners in scoring position with 2 outs. You can see 14 opportunities, 5 hits. This would be huge here.
Talked earlier about Myers perhaps slumping a little bit without Yangervis Solarte hitting in back of him, and now we got a situation where Margot probably gets some protection because of Myers being on deck. Even with Will struggling, I can't imagine that's the guy they want to face in a situation like this. Swings and misses at a slider, 1-1. Padres had runners on first and second, nobody out and a run home, then second and third, 1 out after the sac bunt. Now 2 away, and Margot looking for his first hit of the game. Luis Perdomo has gone 5. He's allowed 2 runs on 9 hits, a couple of big double play balls, and his team has given him a 2-run edge. Now the 1-2 to Margot, tipped into Perez's mitt for strike 3. Don't know how the catcher held on, but he did. And the top of the 6th comes to a close with a couple left in scoring position.
and the Royals battle Yasiel Puig and the Dodgers. Then the Cincinnati Reds take on Paul Goldschmidt and the Diamondbacks at 7, only on FS1.
Padres will be playing early that day back in California with the game in Philly. As you see the left-hander Ryan Buchter warming up to go here in the 6th inning. The night done for Luis Perdomo, who will have 1 earned run in 5 innings. 36th appearance for Buchter this year. Got the ERA down to 3.06. And he was one of the guys to get the job done for the Padres last night after Trevor Cahill went 4 1/3 in that first start since coming off the disabled list. Buchter worked a scoreless 7th inning, gave up the lead double to Santana, and then just locked it down.
Well, it was huge because he got the pop-up to end the inning on Jason Kipnis. But Luis Perdomo tonight looked very good and getting out of trouble and escaping with the strikeout and also 2 huge double plays.
Big part of his arsenal, and a couple of double plays and 11 total groundouts for Perdomo in his 5 innings of work. Ramirez, then Chisenhall and Almonte here in the 6th against Buchter. Ramirez, a switch hitter from the right side for the first time tonight. He's ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes.
That's typical for most managers. Try to swing these switch hitters around. As we see the numbers for Luis Perdomo, 90 pitches, scattered those 9 hits with those 4 Ks, and 3 of them ended innings.
Ramirez grounded out a couple of times against Perdomo. And against Buchter, he takes a strike, 2-1. Ramirez in the air, right side. Myers coming over, and on that rubberized warning track, he makes the catch. So Ramirez fouls out to Myers, 1 down in the 6th for Buchter, and it's time now for the Unlimited Baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, Sonny Gray, we keep hearing his name in trade rumors. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, and just 3 hits in their 7-4 win against the White Sox. And in his last 3 starts, a 1.71 ERA. You know, Billy Bean's phone is ringing, and mentioned it earlier, Aaron Judge has already tied Joe DiMaggio's Yankee rookie home run record. And Alex Wood, we remember his last start. He does not like when men are on second base.
No, he doesn't like people relaying signs as well, which happens all over the game of baseball.
Still one of the most unbelievable things we have seen just all year, but in a while. That whole exchange. Was it Friday night? That one's hit hard up the middle. Nice job by Chisenhall just going down and getting it. His 2nd consecutive hit, 2 for 3 on the night, and a 1-out single. Boy, if you go back to last night, even with the low-scoring games, not a lot of 1, 2, 3 innings for either team. Pitchers have worked their way into trouble, and for the most part, back out of it.
Well, good pitch by Ryan Buchter. You see the slider. It was down out of the strike zone, but a better approach by Lonnie Chisenhall. Left on left. Very impressive approach.
The exception, of course, was the Padre bullpen yesterday. Yates in the 6th, Hand, Mauer, 8 and 9. 1, 2, 3. Hand was unbelievable yesterday. Although I guess we should believe it by now. Almonte also a switch hitter, double and a single from the left side. And he takes a fastball strike from Ryan, 0-1.
A lot of versatility on this Indians club when it comes to position players, especially the switch hitters. Makes it very difficult to manage against.
Now Almonte takes a little bit outside. As we take a look at this Indian team, right? We saw the ace last night, Kluber. We got Bauer here tonight. Josh Tomlin will go tomorrow. You got to figure this is a team, Mark, that would love to add another starting pitcher.
Yeah, and you think about the bullpen, obviously that's locked down. Andrew Miller, everyone else. But you think about the starting rotation and the dominance, but also last year going through those injuries late in the season, adding depth would be huge for the Indians.
Stung down the right field line, but foul. And if Cleveland goes out and tries to make some move, here's some possible guys that could be available for them or anybody else who wants to pay. We just talked about Sonny Gray. You see the numbers overall. I mean, those are some real deal options here as we approach the trade deadline.
Well, when it comes down to it, I think Sonny Gray showing his health. As you can see, he had a good start tonight. But Jose Quintana, bad start to the season for the White Sox, but also run support comes into mind. And I think if you're a playoff team, you're not worried about run support. You're worried about innings and important innings and how you could stabilize that rotation. I think those are the guys that come to mind. Obviously, the first two on the list. And Garrett Cole with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's playing better. Wonder if they'll hold on to him and possibly deal him in the offseason.
Almonte chops one deep in shortstop. Ibar some trouble with it, and he does not have a play. They give him an infield single, so Almonte now 3 for 3. I don't know that they ever had a shot at the double play because of the way the ball was hit. But if Ibar fields it cleanly, perhaps a chance to get one out.
Well, it's a bounding ball, and the second hop skips. I think that was a really good play by Ibar, just to keep it in the infield and keep Chisenhall on second base. In my opinion, I don't think he's getting Almonte, even if he fields that cleanly.
So a foul out and a couple of base hits against Ryan Buchter. That'll end his night as Andy Green goes back to the bullpen. 2 on, 1 out for the Tribe in the 6th.
It's a group that's unified, but I think the main thing is they know their roles now. I mean, we use different guys in different situations at time, but they basically know when they're going to pitch. And, you know, with the addition of Kirby Yates, he's thrown off a wall lately. Some guys eating up innings down there. It's been a little bit easier.
Darren Balsley very proud of his pitching staff, and he mentioned that this bullpen has really settled down. Each guy understands what his role is. Each guy accepts that role. There's been a lot of stability in that bullpen, and Andy Green went on to add, yes, Kirby Yates has been outstanding coming out of the pen against right-handers, but don't forget this young man, Phil Maton, coming into the ball game as well. The combination of Yates and Maton has allowed him to stretch out his bullpen and get even deeper in it with it, and continues to take the pressure off the back end, guys. Phil Maton getting a chance to do it again tonight, guys.
Bob, thanks a lot. And a big spot for the young right-hander. Runners on first and second, 1 out. In a 2-run game here in the 6th. Yeah, Maton and Yates sort of splitting this role as he delivers a fastball, strike, 0-1. And Bob, maybe, you know, we hear about roles and defined roles and knowing who the 9th inning guy is and so on down the line. You talk to relief pitchers, that can be a really big deal to those guys, huh?
No question about it. And guys take a certain amount of pride, whatever their job is. If it's the 7th inning, 8th inning, 9th inning, whatever it may be.
Foul down the left field line. Caesar gives it a look, but not a lot of space there. 0-2.
And there's also a sense, Jesse, of just physically knowing how to prepare yourself for when you're going to enter the game, and mentally as well. You can't sit there for 9 innings on the edge all time. You want to know when that phone is going to ring, if it's going to be you, if it's going to be somebody else. It does add to the ability to keep yourself calm, cool, and collected when you're coming into a ball game out of that bullpen, almost invariably with runners on base and the game on the line.
Makes a lot of sense. Pinch hitter Jason Kipnis not in the starting lineup with a stiff neck, but he lays off that high fastball from Maton. And now 1-2. Kipnis, their usual starter at second base. Gonzalez there tonight. This is the catcher spot. Perez. Gonzalez is on deck, so we will see Yan Gomes. 1-2, and he got him. That Maton fastball is fun to watch, unless you're a hitter. And that is a big second out here in the 6th inning.
It sure is. High leverage situations and being able to pitch at the top of the zone over the barrel of the bat. 94, but you talk about the spin rate. That is the jump and getting past Kipnis's bat for a huge out for the Padres.
Basically, the spin rate on his fastball means it looks like it's faster than 94. Sounds complicated, isn't really. And now 2 outs with the number 9 hitter Gonzalez swinging through a 93-mile-per-hour fastball.
Well, that's the indication right there. Honing in on that fastball, and you see Gonzalez with the aggressive approach tonight. Has 2 hits in the ball game, as you can see, single and double, but also feeling good on that fastball.
Chisenhall and Almonte take their leads. The 0-1 from Maton, swung on and missed. Another fastball. And again, 92, 93 with him. Looks like 95, 96. Combination of that spin rate, also his release point. 20th round draft pick. Sorry, Skins.
I was just going to say what's also fun to watch about this young guy is that he has closer stuff, but at his age also ice water in his veins. You don't always see that out of youngsters.
Yeah, he doesn't seem bothered by any of this. He was closing for El Paso, and here he gets a big out for San Diego. Maton comes out of the bullpen with 2 on and 1 away. No big deal. Strikes out Kipnis and Gonzalez to keep the Padres in front as we go to the 7th. Game summary. Let's start it off with Francisco Lindor, an RBI single in the 3rd inning as the Indians got on the board, but Carlos Asuaje, the first of a couple of big hits, ties the game in the 4th. Then Jose Perella, an RBI triple off the wall in deep right center field in the 5th, and then Asuaje again in the 6th inning, an RBI single to plate Eric Ibar. Padres are leading again here in Cleveland. It's a 4-2 advantage as we start the 7th inning. Luis Perdomo and Trevor Bauer, the starting pitchers, have both departed, and multiple run-scoring hits for both Lindor and Asuaje. Nick Goody is still out there. Phil Maton finished off the 6th inning with back-to-back strikeouts of Kipnis and Gonzalez. He made it look exceptionally easy as Goody pours one into Myers for a called strike.
Hey, think about the scenario and the high leverage situation that Bob Scanlon talked about. Phil Maton, with ice water in his veins, looked very comfortable in that scenario.
It was like no big deal. Really fun to watch. Close pitch. Myers takes it for a ball. Will still looking for his first hit of the series. You see Yan Gomes has come in to catch after Kipnis hit for Perez. How's your neck, by the way?
Well, it should be sore. There's a lot of sore necks around here.
Kipnis didn't start with a sore neck. Hedges scratched with a sore neck. Big swing and a miss on the fastball, 1-2. Means you played well on the golf course this week.
I actually didn't today. I did play today.
Trying to help you out.
I know, but listen, it wasn't good. Well, it's good to see Austin Hedges even out here and functioning with that sore neck. Andy Green was hoping that he could start tomorrow. He said earlier that Torrens was going to start tomorrow with a healthy Hedges, so maybe they flip-flop.
Yeah, you got the sense if Austin is able to go physically, he'll get the start. That's one of those most annoying things ever, though, physically. I mean, we've all had it. You wake up with a crink in your neck for whatever reason. You can't turn it all the way to one side. Hard to play a baseball game that way, and hopefully just a one-night thing for Hedges. Myers hard hit on 2-2, and that is going to get down for his first hit of the series, and it'll be extra bases into the left field corner. And Will Myers cruises into second base with a double.
Listen, we've all been there, and when the struggles start mounting and you get on second base, you can almost see him take a breath of fresh air. Raise second base and raise it over your head. That's the feeling that you have, and this is a good one. Finally, he gets that mistake breaking ball over the middle of the plate. Well, a nice approach by Will Myers. Hopefully that gets him going.
Gets him out of an offer and into scoring position with his 15th double of the year. Padres have made noise pretty much every single inning against Bauer and now Goody. Former Yankee delivers, and Renfroe takes way high. Ball and no strikes. Hunter hit a ball that brought in a run his last time up. They called it an error on Lindor. It was a 109-mile-per-hour rocket that was lined over the shortstop. He jumped up and had it tip off his glove. They did not give him a hit. They called it an error. But the run came home. That obviously helped. And now he's looking to do some more damage here against the right-handed reliever. Takes and a called strike, 1-1. He hits the ball hard. More hits, more doubles than any rookie in the National League, Hunter Renfroe. Nice series over the weekend against the Dodgers. First career 4-hit game on Sunday. 6 hits in the 3 games. 3 of them were doubles. Singled his first time up. Myers just doubled to start the 7th. Goody missing there. Looked like Gomes was setting a low target, and the ball ended up high.
Yeah, overthrowing the breaking ball, and you've seen the location of the pitches. Hasn't been spot on by Goody.
His location, not so Goody.
I see where you're going with that.
That's where it's ending, not going. He's walking away. Gets Renfroe there. And the strikeout is the first out here in the 7th. Second for Goody. Got Margot to end the 6th inning. Closed captioning for tonight's game is brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. And that's going to be all for Goody as Brad Mills comes out to make a pitching change. Goody got all 3 outs in the 6th. He's gotten 1 out here in the 7th. He'll depart with the Padres on top, 4-2. Will Myers on second, and Spangenberg coming up. Baseball brought to you by Petco, where the pets go, and by the all-new 2017 Subaru Impreza. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 28 miles per gallon. More than a car, it's a Subaru. Look at downtown Cleveland as the Padres have a 4-2 lead on the Tribe with 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. Progressive Field and the Q, Quicken Loans Arena, where the Cavaliers play this part of town. Football stadium where the Browns play. Up on Lake Erie, less than a mile north of here, as the veteran right-hander Zach McAllister comes on in relief. What do you know? Another member of the Indian bullpen with a sub-3 ERA.
28th appearance, and in 30 innings, his last 30 innings, 39 strikeouts.
Veteran right-hander ready to go against Corey Spangenberg, and misses badly with the fastball. Bauer, Goody, McAllister, the pitchers used. Last night we saw only Cody Allen, the closer, in relief after Corey Kluber went 8. Padres won the game, though, and they're in position to do so again here. Spin and a look back. Be kind of fun and interesting to see how Andy Green uses his bullpen tonight, right? You know, all the quote-unquote late inning leverage guys were used yesterday. Yates and Buchter in hand, and Mauer. Already used Buchter. Maton got a couple of strikeouts, and perhaps an opportunity to send him back out there, see how that goes. Spangenberg takes again outside, 2-0.
Well, again, you think about it, Jesse, and the thinking really is out of the equation with the American League style. You don't have to worry about the pitcher spot coming up in the order. Some fresh arms out there. Craig Stammen, also Kevin Quackenbush did not get in the game last night. It looks like Phil Maton is possibly going to go out for his second inning of work.
New experience for him at the big league level.
Now Lindor is paying very close attention and trying to keep Will Myers close to second base. You can see him hiding right behind him.
Spangenberg fouls it back. McAllister is one of these guys that really buckles down with men on base. Opponent's hitting 178 against him with a runner on. That's among the lowest in the American League, and part of the reasons for the low ERA. Myers led off with a double. That was against Goody. Now Corey up there looking for his first hit of the night. 3-1.
Well, Jesse, when they're holding you close as a base runner, and especially in an RBI situation, it's imperative for you to get a good secondary lead, as we see Eric Ibar on deck. But they're keeping him close. They're being aware of that, trying to limit that lead he gets. And when the pitch is being delivered, that secondary is so important.
Hitters count, and Spangenberg in the air to pretty deep left. Brantley is going back. He is looking up. How about another interleague home run for Corey Spangenberg? That's his 5th homer of the season, and 4 of them have come against American League teams. A 2-run shot here in the 7th, the first home run of this series for either team. And now a 6-2 Padre lead.
Well, again, paying attention to the base runners. That will change the thought of a hitter. It just locks you into that fastball. Corey Spangenberg gets that fastball. It's a mistake, down and in, and he goes the other way. So impressive when you can take a ball with that location and go the other way with power.
Now Ibar goes the other way, and that's a powerful base hit. 3rd straight time he's been aboard. Hit by a pitch in the 4th, singled in the 6th, and now another single here in the 7th. Corey Spangenberg. I said it earlier, these interleague numbers, I don't know that they mean anything, but again, all but one of his home runs now coming against AL teams.
Well, I know one thing, Jesse. Hitting is contagious, and you're seeing these Padres with the at-bats that they put on at the beginning of the game against Trevor Bauer. Really have indicated how they go and they attack the rest of the game.
Matt Caesar waits for the 1-strike pitch, holds off it. Little breathing room for the bullpen too. Now a 4-run advantage, and again we're sort of guessing that Phil Maton is going to go back out there after the 2 strikeouts to end the 6th. Nobody throwing in the Padre bullpen.
If you're Andy Green and you're trying to script the rest of the game, that 2-run cushion, possibly even more, will add to the comfort level of being able to manipulate that bullpen.
Couple of hard hit balls here. Again, Zach McAllister, home run for Spangenberg, a single for Ibar, and now Caesar swings through a fastball, 1-2. Last night, Corey drove in the only run of the game in the 1-0 victory. Getting ready to head back to his home state. Later on in this trip, Pennsylvania. Matt Caesar played collegiately at Villanova in Philadelphia. He strikes out here, though. First one for McAllister, and that is the 2nd out here in the 7th inning.
You know, Jesse, I love just watching batting practice. Watch how they construct a plan of attack, how they're going to battle that particular night. And today especially, watching the Padres trying to maximize driving the ball the other way and then executing it during the game.
Certainly executed here. And Asuaje, another guy with a nice night, and he's going to add to it with that slicer down the left field line. Ibar is on his way to 3rd. He'll be held up there, but Asuaje into 2nd base with his 3rd straight hit. Couple of RBI singles and now a double, and exactly what you're talking about.
He is carving the baseball, being able to let that ball travel, but also stay inside the baseball. Ball's down and in. If you're able to hit the ball on line the other way with a ball in, it's a perfect hitting style.
Talked about the Indian bullpen having the lowest ERA in the major leagues, and the Padres are hitting them hard here tonight. 2nd of the year for Asuaje. Ibar's at 3rd. And Luis Torrens coming up with an opportunity to add on even more. Out in front, 0-1. More action in the Cleveland bullpen. Dan Otero could be the 3rd reliever used by Brad Mills tonight. Torrens takes, that's outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to the Padre catcher. Now you got McAllister looking a little bit frustrated out there. Two balls and 2 strikes to Torrens. Singleton scored back in the 5th inning on the Perella triple. And Perella waiting on deck if Torrens can keep this thing going here in the 7th. The 2-2 pitch is on the outside corner, and strike 3 call. Well, 2nd strikeout of the inning by McAllister, but that was not the big at bat here in the top of the 7th. It belonged to that guy, Corey Spangenberg, an opposite field 2-run home run. Padres add on against the Cleveland bullpen. Stretch time at Progressive Field. The lead 6-2 in the bottom of the 7th, and the 7th inning stretch is presented by your San Diego Hyundai dealers. Progressive Field, Cleveland, Ohio. With Mark Sweeney, Bob Scanlon, and our entire Fox Sports San Diego crew, I'm Jesse Agler. Thanks for being with us on what is now a Wednesday night back in San Diego. Got to fly on the TV here.
Get it.
Top of the order for the Tribe in the 7th, Bradley Zimmer against Phil Maton, who got the last 2 outs with very quick strikeouts in the bottom of the 6th. Now he goes back out there. This is a new challenge for a young relief pitcher. You see veteran relief pitchers struggle having to go back out after sitting in the dugout for a little while.
And I think he's just being evaluated every appearance, and sounds to me like Andy is on board with this scenario. See, the command of the fastball really comes into play. He can pitch at the top of the zone, but also and he has to go down and away. I think that's what he has, so he can get those much needed outs, and if he has to pitch to contact, he can do that as well.
For Zimmer, ground outs all 3 times at the plate tonight, and a swing and a miss there, 1 and 2. And these guys just don't look comfortable with Phil Maton's fastball.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the carry in the hitting zone. Whether you call it spin rate, I think it's just the way he handles and locates.
He is the first A.J. Preller drafted player to make it to the big leagues. 20th round a couple of years ago, and Zimmer lays off that one, 2 and 2.
But I think a lot of it has to do with just being able to see him for the first time. Familiarity, obviously, the opposition can watch video. But until you see that release point, Jesse, that is the determinant factor. You can see the fastballs going in.
2-2 to Zimmer. The guy's just 24 years old, drafted out of Louisiana Tech. And while he pitched there, he did not throw fastballs the way he does now in terms of frequency. It's like 50% off speed for him in college, and when he got into the Padres system, they said, we're going to change the way you throw. And the results have obviously been very, very encouraging, because here he is barely 2 years later pitching in the major leagues. Last year, Fort Wayne, Elsinore, and El Paso combined a 1.74 ERA. As Zimmer hits that one hard. What a stop by Asuaje at second, and he got it. That is a very, very fast base runner, and Carlos Asuaje just threw him out with a fine defensive play in back of Maton.
Well, boost both sides of the baseball tonight, and you can't say enough for Carlos Asuaje. Confidence is rising, and what a defensive play to his left. And as you said, Jesse, getting the fast runner in the frustration for Zimmer. Going to his left and the glove work, but also the accurate throw to Will Myers.
Talking about the confidence building for him finally here, and we say that as if he's been around for years, which isn't the case, but he is getting the opportunity to play every day. That's got to change things for a guy like
Sure does. And you think about it, and sometimes it's an injury that gets you that opportunity. But wherever you slot, you prepare yourself for these opportunities. Why not put a smile on your face? You're playing the game.
Great defensive play there. 3 hits, including a couple of RBI singles and a double. Big night for Asuaje, as Lindor, who has not been retired tonight, is now in the hole 0-2 against Maton. The second of those doubles was off of Luis Perdomo. The first of the 2 straight that Perdomo had come off of his body. One a double, one a single. 0-2, just missed.
Well, that's the pitch there, Jesse, that I think is so impressive. Yes, you talk about the carry of his high fastball, but when you have to locate it down and away, that's a perfect pitcher's pitch. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres. They may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Maton, born in Kentucky, high school in Illinois. And another strikeout. His third in 4 batters faced. 2 away here in the 7th. Lindor, who had been 3 for 3, caught looking.
Yeah, the previous pitch looked like he was sitting on the breaking ball, down and away fastball, very well located. And a hot hitter goes down looking on the K.
Mentioned that last year at those 3 minor league stops, he combined for a 1.74 earned run average. His big league ERA right now is 1.8. Not a full season, of course, but he's handling this in a big way. And first pitch fastball for a strike to Brantley. I love watching the demeanor of young pitchers. We talked about that a lot with Lamet in his major league debut in New York. And Maton, I mean, you kind of get the sense he could be pitching on any mound in the country, and it would just sort of be, this is what you're going to get.
You know what, Jesse, I think what really comes to mind is I think of future Hall of Famer Trevor Hoffman in the fastball that he possessed. Obviously Trevor had the wipeout changeup, but you look at Maton and the delivery and creating different angles. I think it has a lot to do with the similarity of the Trevor Hoffman fastball. Looks like a straight fastball, but he creates different angles, different looks.
That one's hit hard into center field, and it will not be a perfect outing from Maton. 2 out singled by Brantley, his 2nd straight hit. Now dangerous batter coming up, Edwin Encarnacion.
I think the best thing Trevor Hoffman did when it came to fastball location and going the other way, being able to change it, he moved on the rubber, was able to give a hitter a different look. You couple that fastball command with the outstanding changeup, then you got a closer in the making.
So it's Encarnacion 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts and the double plays last time. 3 infielders on the left side, and he takes just outside 1-0.
Wouldn't it be nice to have Trevor Hoffman have some communication with a Phil Maton, maybe develop that changeup or a secondary pitch?
Well, I've got good news for you. Trevor does a lot of that up and down the Padres system. That one is launched to left field, but he got under it. Caesar waits, and he makes the catch. Encarnacion hit it hard and just missed it. We'll go to the 8th. 6-2 San Diego. All right, thank you very much. Dan Otero out of the bullpen, third reliever used by the Indians tonight after Trevor Bauer went 5+. Top of the Padre batting order. San Diego in front 6-2 as we open the 8th inning. Plenty to talk about on that post-game show, Padres and otherwise. Look forward to that. And Perella takes a fastball strike from the veteran right-hander, former Giant and Athletic, in for the 30th time this year.
Well, even splits with the lefties and righties. 250 for the lefties, 260 for the right-handers.
More innings in relief last year than anybody on the Indian team as Ramirez comes in, can't find the handle, and Perella is aboard again. Infield single for Jose Perella, his 3rd hit of the night, and a double last night as well. And he's had some really well hit balls that weren't hits, and then he gets one of these.
Well, exactly right. And this was going to be a tough play by Ramirez, the all-star starting third baseman for the American League. Does everything he can, but just doesn't get it in the transfer. Perella with another knock.
Now Margot, a 5th opportunity to extend the hitting streak. He's at 6 right now. The career high is 7. He did that back in April. And now behind in the count, 0-1. All right, at the beginning of the game, Mark, keys to the game. We got to grade your work now. Brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, I can't top last night, but Luis Perdomo, 5 efficient innings, getting out of trouble. Obviously 90 pitches, but a lot of ground balls. Early offense, 0 runs in the first 3 innings, but they have capitalized with 6 big runs in the middle of the game. That lead against the Indians, so imperative.
I'll take middle of the game offense.
Yeah.
Early offense, sure, preferable, but kind of offense they've had tonight is put them in a very good position here with 6 outs to get. You're talking about Perdomo going 5, but Phil Maton able to come on and get you 5 outs. That changes the calculus in the bullpen. The Mats. That's up the middle, maybe a broken bat. We'll see if Lindor can turn 2. No, but they do get the out at second base. 1 away.
Crush home runs and dominate in your very own Derby competition in the official MLB.com Home Run Derby game on the App Store and Google Play. Swing for the fences against more than 10 million players from around the world in your favorite Derby All-Star. Download Home Run Derby for free today.
So 1 out now. Margot replaces Perella at first base. Manuel reaching on the fielder's choice, and Will Myers busted out with a double his last time up. Came in to score on the Spangenberg homer. Padres are swinging early against Otero.
Jesse, I think this is still a running situation for Manny Margot. Otero's had the slide step, very difficult to run on, but I still think this is an area where you have to try to add on.
9 stolen bases this year, tied with the Red Sox Andrew Benintendi for the most among all rookies in baseball. Close pitch goes Otero's way. Obviously that percentage not where you'd like it to be for Margot, but I believe he was 5 out of 10. So he has been better as of late. It's one of those things you can certainly learn on the fly. Pay the price every now and again. Not running. And now 2-2 to Myers.
Well, it's not just speed if you're a base stealer. It has everything to do with reading pitches, anticipating situations. Some of the great ones, obviously, you think of Ricky Henderson, maybe even a Juan Pierre type. I think he's going to evolve as a base stealer. And there's so many coaches out there, Jesse, and one comes to mind. And it's Davey Lopes, the former Padre first base coach, has been in the game for a long time in multiple organizations, now with the Washington Nationals. But those are the type of guys that you constantly talk to and pick their brains, being able to think about what it takes to be a base stealer. Maury Wills comes to mind when you're thinking about the Los Angeles Dodgers, how many people he has impacted.
Margot still not going, and Myers grounds it to third base. Ramirez, Gonzalez, double play. So the Indians go around the horn here in the 8th. That'll send us to the bottom of the inning. Padres by 4 in Cleveland.
We want, he'd probably actually want to be used more often, which is almost impossible. But good for him, man. You know, change of scenery. He's found his niche. Great teammate. He's one of the guys who, you know, when anybody makes the All-Star team, you please for him. But this was, I think, the entire club was really happy for him.
Darren Balsley talking about Brad Hand, who's coming into the ball game right now. He is a favorite in the clubhouse. He's obviously a favorite amongst people choosing who's going to be all-stars. He is the all-star representative for the Padres, and as Darren mentioned, he loves to take the ball, guys. A former starter, he's made that transition to the bullpen, and he's done it with aplomb. He loves to take the ball. He gets it here again tonight with a Padre 4-run lead, guys. Back to you.
Well, thank you, Bob. 41st appearance for Brad Hand. I guess it's worth pointing out, right? I mean, you look at the Padres this year, this is their 84th game, and he has now appeared in 41 of them. Pretty much puts him on pace for what he did a season ago. And he will be representing the team in the All-Star game next week. Struck out the side, 1, 2, 3 in the 8th inning last night. Lindor, Brantley, and Encarnacion. That was in a 1-run game. Pitches here with a 4-run lead in the 8th, and he's got Jose Ramirez leading off. So it's an all-star type battle. Who knows? Maybe they'll face each other next week in Miami. And it's 1-1.
Yeah, exactly right. But Brad Hand has deserved that all-star nod. Think of Andrew Miller in being that hybrid role. Well, that's what Brad Hand has given Andy Green and the Padre organization. He'll pitch at any time, any situation, and even be able to give you multiple innings if it's a tough scenario.
That one gets away. Now 2 balls and a strike to Ramirez. The comparison is natural. They're both left-handed. They're both all-stars. They both do a lot of different things in the bullpen. And you go, there are the numbers for Andrew Miller and Brad Hand. And we get to see Brad Hand every night. And you look at the numbers for Andrew Miller and you realize just how incredible he is as well. Both guys spent time in the Marlin organization and have really settled in Cleveland and San Diego respectively. That is into the gap in left center field. Margot's going to chase it down, and so after Hand struck out the side 1-2-3 last night, he's greeted by a lead double off the bat of Jose Ramirez here tonight.
Well, switch hitter switches over to the right side, and you can see the approach. Best position player of the first half. That's the reason why he's starting the All-Star game is Ramirez. Shooting the gap, and you can see Margot playing that off the wall.
So 27th double of the year for the starting third baseman of the American League in the All-Star game, and now a pinch hitter. Brandon Guyer is going to hit for Chisenhall. Did not see Guyer last night. He takes a fastball up and away. Chisenhall left-handed batter. Guyer clearly a right-handed hitter. Got to figure that's the decision being made by Brad Mills here. Former Ray in his first full season with Cleveland. And Guyer strokes that one, but Ibar goes up and makes the catch. Eric Ibar made a huge play last night on a ground ball, and he goes up and gets the line drive there, one away in the 8th.
Well, it looks like this ball has a little bit of topspin, but the reactions of the shortstop and getting up and getting it. Big play by the veteran shortstop. This ball is smashed, but you can see with the topspin enabling Ibar to get up and get it.
.33-year-old going up, still has the hops. And that's a big first down for Hand here in the 8th as Abraham Almonte stands in. Padres have not been able to get him out tonight. Double, single, single in 3 trips up for the former Padre. Activated off the disabled list before tonight's game. And the switch hitter takes high, 1-0. Padres have had big hits tonight from Asuaje, Spangenberg, Perella. Spread it around offensively. And pitching once again has been very good against a very talented Cleveland lineup. It's funny, not that I want to just throw an unnamed random manager under the bus, but I figure there are managers around baseball who are not using their 8th inning guys in this game right now because it's a 4-run game and not a 3-run game, and it's not a save or hold situation, as Almonte swings and misses to make it 2-1. And look, we've seen from Andy Green and from Terry Francona on the other side here, no reluctance whatsoever to use Miller, Hand, whomever in these sort of less traditional circumstances.
Well, this is a tip of the cap of the talent on the other side from Andy Green, knowing that this team is very talented. You can go back at any point and trying to win a series.
Talked about it before. Padres have never won 2 games in a series against the Indians. Took something off, gets the called strike 2-2.
No, he can throw that breaking ball at any time, has a good feel for it. Different shapes to the breaking ball.
Saw that last night. He got Lindor and Brantley swinging before punching Encarnacion out. Now he's got a 2-strike count on Abraham Almonte.
Let's see if he goes to the slider.
He does, and he got it. Another strikeout for Brad Hand, his 4th in 2 nights. And that's out number 2 here in the 8th.
You know what, guys, one other point with regards to bringing Brad Hand into this ball game, I agree with you. This is a sign of respect to the offensive power that the Indians have, but also if you have Brad Hand up in the bullpen getting ready to come into this game before the Padres score their runs in the 7th, it's actually easier on a reliever to let him get loose, bring him back into this game, as opposed to sit him down. Now if trouble starts, you have to get him back up and bring him in with runners on base. So this actually takes a little bit of stress off Brad Hand of not having to get up in a stressful situation later.
Makes a lot of sense. The dynamics of the bullpen so much more complicated than most of us realize most of the time. That's a base hit the other way. Ramirez going to run on Renfroe. Here comes the throw to the plate, and he is out. Hunter Renfroe with another outfield assist. Indians, of course, will wait and see if they want to challenge it. With 2 outs, Ramirez going on contact, and Renfroe delivered a strike. He's out. San Diego Honda dealers. Moving on to the 9th inning at Progressive Field in Cleveland, and the Padres still a 6-2 lead, thanks in very large part to that guy who's about to lead off the top of the 9th inning. The Indians ran on him in the bottom of the 8th, and that, Mark Sweeney, was a mistake.
Pretty interesting with a 4-run lead, and they are going to have Ramirez thrown out. That's the 7th assist. See Ramirez wondering, how did that ball get there that quickly?
So Hunter Renfroe with his 7th outfield assist of the year. Rookie leader there. And we've been talking about it all season. It is already one of the best outfield arms in baseball. There's no question about it. Sean Armstrong on in relief. Bauer started. Goody, McAllister, Otero. Now Armstrong out of the bullpen. 14th appearance of the year for a guy that last season, he was like their Quackenbush. He was bouncing up and down all year from AAA. Already this year, his 5th stint. He's still their Quackenbush. AAA Columbus, Ohio, not very far at all for them, which is very convenient. And Renfroe swings at the first pitch, tips it foul at the plate, 0-1. I feel like I recall the Rangers and or the White Sox running on Renfroe in situations where it was a little bit surprising and sort of jokingly chalking it up to American League teams not knowing as much. But I mean, like, I can watch any game I want on my phone every day. It's hard to imagine that that's a legitimate excuse these days. But is there still an information gap with these teams you don't see very often?
I don't think so. Not the way the scouting reports are thrown around. I think Mike Sarbaugh, the 3rd base coach for the Indians, made a mistake. Ball was hit hard by Gomes to right field.
And I get it with 2 outs. Maybe, you know, you're trying to go for it, but you're down 4. if that's a one-run game, hey, yeah, you got to go for it, right?
I totally agree. It's the scenario that you go in. Ramirez obviously running hard all the time.
Joe West says no. And so 2-2 on Renfroe. Another opportunity to show off the arm, and that was a very, very nice throw. Terens almost looked surprised that Ramirez was as far away from home plate as he was when he applied that tag. And he struck him out. Fastball at 96 miles per hour. One down in the ninth, and time now for the Bill Howe play of the game. It was an offensive moment. It was back in the 7th inning. This was a 2-run game. Myers on second, and Corey Spangenberg, Oppo Taco, goes out over the big tall left field fence here in Cleveland and gave the Padres some very nice breathing room in the 7th. All smiles after the home run. He hits here with 1 out and nobody aboard, and takes a fastball strike. Padres have scored 7 runs in this series. Spangenberg has driven in 3. 1 ball and 1 strike to Corey here. Fifth appearance of this stint for Armstrong. And the right-hander's fastball is grounded to second base. Gonzalez will throw out Spangenberg. 2 down here in the 9th. Final game of this series tomorrow, also a 4:10 first pitch Pacific time. Start to Nelson Lamet. So good in his last time out, and really an electric young starter. He goes up against the right-hander Josh Tomlin, who's got a +6 ERA on the year. Perhaps the Padres will be going for the sweep. Here's Eric Ibar taking a fastball strike. And Lamet against the Braves, 7 shutout innings, 96 pitches the other day.
Yeah, you think about Andy Green and asking Dinelson Lamet to be a little more aggressive. Well, that's exactly what he has done last few starts with that power slider and also the power fastball. It's a budding star in my opinion, and if he starts corralling that and getting that consistency, he's going to win a lot of games in the big leagues.
Andy Green said he went out to make a change in that game, and the plate umpire Jim Reynolds said, hey, that guy, meaning Lamet, he's got no hit stuff. Ibar takes in the dirt. He was hit on a similar pitch, or by a similar pitch, back in the 4th inning.
Well, I think the Padre fans would love that, wouldn't they?
That'd be nice.
I would love it.
Whether it's tomorrow or at any other point from Dinelson Lamet, it would be certainly enjoyable. Top of the rotation stuff, there's no question. 1-2 to Ibar, slap the other way. This one is caught by Lindor, and it's a 1-2-3 top half of inning number 9 for Sean Armstrong. Padres going to try and close this thing out in Cleveland. the plate. That's an RBI single in the 4th inning. Got it done at the plate again. That's an RBI single in the 6th inning. He is also doubled down the left field line. And on top of all of that, made a fine defensive play on Bradley Zimmer. Very fast base runner. And he throws him out by a step. All smiles for our Cardinals Jr. star of the game. And Orsillo and I's pick for Pick the Stick today. Did you know you get a 10-point bonus for being the Cardinals Jr. star of the game? So we've had a huge night on Pick the Stick. Suaje out there defensively as the Padres try and finish this thing off in the 9th inning, and Craig Stammen comes out with the Padres on top 6-2. Veteran right-hander, an Ohio guy. He's from North Star, Ohio, which is kind of northwestern Ohio. Not too far from here. 9-1-2 due up for the Tribe. Gonzalez, Zimmer, and Lindor. And the first pitch fastball misses a little bit outside. North Star is not a big town where he's from. I remember we were talking about it in spring training, and we sort of did the quick Google. I mean, it's like a town of like 200 people.
Same one stoplight.
If
maybe a general store.
If population 233 in the last census. And one of them, if you will, is a big leaguer. Here's a ground ball foul at 3rd.
Well, Jesse, we'd be remiss to talk about the leader of the bullpen, Doug Bachler. Happy birthday to Doug Bachler, the bullpen coach for the San Diego Padres. There he is.
You gonna draw him a cake or anything? You don't have those skills?
I don't have those skills. We'll just blow out the candles. And congratulations, Doug Bachler. He's done a tremendous job down there.
On the outside corner, and strike 3 call. One of Bachler's boys picks up another K. 5th by the bullpen tonight, and 1 out in the 9th. Well, Craig Stammen, after the rough start to the season, has been basically unhittable.
Lights out, and he's added so much to this bullpen, much like Brad Hand did last year. But he's healthy. He looks comfortable. Just gives so much ability for this bullpen to throw in different scenarios.
Zimmer 0-for. That's probably going to continue here as Suaje comes in on this one and throws him out for a 4th consecutive time. Zimmer 0-for-5 with 4 ground outs, and now 2 down, and the Padres are 1 out away from taking the first 2 games of this series against the defending American League champs.
Well, again, a nice effort by Luis Perdomo tonight. 5 innings of work, scattered those 9 hits. And also inducing the ground balls. 90 pitches, 59 for strikes.
This guy has caused a fair amount of trouble. He has brought home both runs for the Tribe. RBIs in the 3rd and the 5th inning. They finally got him out his last time. That was in the 7th. Maton struck him out. And he's the last hope for Cleveland as he takes a fastball strike from Stammen, 0-1.
Well, Jesse, with Luis Perdomo coming in 3-4 with a 4.71 ERA, this will be his first road victory on the season.
Lindor takes low. We mentioned this earlier. The road ERA has actually been better than the home ERA, but circumstantially hasn't always been there for Perdomo this year. He's struggled with run support, although last couple times out now the Padres offense has done their part, and the results are pouring in for Luis Perdomo.
Well, I'm such a big fan of Luis Perdomo and how he has handled the situation. Obviously the 9 wins last year, but also duplicating what he did last year and continuing to get better with every start. And tonight you saw the big strikeouts early in this ball game, but also more importantly the double plays, inducing the ground balls.
Lindor rolls over, grounds it to second, should be the game. Suaje again, and the Padres have taken the first 2 here against the defending American League champions. A 6-2 victory tonight. Padres Live is next. Mike Pomerantz, what do you got?